Orange fans, you played every snap. You showed your orange. But you're just getting started because it's time for the best post-game fan show in college football. It's time for the Garza Law Firm 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. The place where the Big Orange universe from all around the world gathers to talk about today's game. Unfiltered, uncensored, and unapologetic. And did we mention commercial-free? A show of you, by you, and yep, for you.
Let's do this thing. Yes! Let's do this thing.
The most unique fan experience in sports.
Tennessee absolutely whacks, stacks, and pads.
And it happens right now.
Kentucky. They absolute kill job tonight as we welcome you to Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Tony Basilio reporting for duty into the wee small hours of the morning, hopefully getting a bunch of people home from the Commonwealth as Tennessee wins 56-34 in a game that was really never close. Kentucky got semi-close there towards the end of the first half. I did a Twitter space and said Tennessee needed to come out in the third quarter and get off the field after 6 plays because they can't get off the field after 3 plays, and that's exactly what they did. They got off the field after 6 plays. And then I said they need to quick strike, put it on them, and blow them out. And I predicted the final score would be 56-35, and I was a point off. The Vols with a 56-34 victory over the Kentucky Wildcats. An historic night. Joey Agalar was really good in this game. 5 completions of 35-plus yards. That is a career high for him. 396 yards passing in the game. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, 20 of 26. And that, on offense, was child's play. 7 different players caught touchdowns in the game or recorded touchdowns in the game. 56 points versus an SEC opponent, the most since 2022. And yes, Virginia, the Vols have an offense. Yes, Virginia, the Vols have an excellent offense. Defensively, probably not so much would be the way I would phrase it, but that's just me. That's just me. But here we are, breaking it down scientifically with you, moving right to left across your device. And here we are, ladies and germs, making it happen with you. It's Garza Law, 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Let's talk about it. Thank God for the Kentucky Wildcats. Oh, my gosh. Brian, how unserious are they about college football in the Commonwealth when that's the SEC team they put out on the field?
Well, their offense looked potent, like really potent. Probably their best game of the year production-wise. But, yeah, I think the fumble that Tennessee recovered that set up a short field might have summed up this series through the years. The tipped interception Farouk had that he ran and scored on probably sums up. That's the type of plays Tennessee makes against Kentucky.
Yes.
Seemingly every year is that kind of thing. Last year you had the scrum with Sampson who carried half the team 6 yards, and you had Will Brooks nearly pick 6-1. And just stuff happens for Tennessee against Kentucky that every year that assures that the game is not really – and tonight the game wasn't really – you were never worried. Nobody was worried about that one.
No question about it. So we have a lot to get to, very little time to get there if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us. Alex Myers is in the house tonight before I hear what Sean has to say. The Vols with 504 yards total offense. Kentucky 476 themselves. These teams almost combined for 1,000 yards of offense tonight. And Alex, you jumped into the Twitter space with me at halftime. This looked like one of those old Big 12 games when Mike Leach was there.
Yeah, it looked like what I thought games would look like pretty consistently when we hired Josh Heupel. This is kind of what I thought we were signing up for. And then, obviously in the 2022, we had some of that. And then last year, the defense was kind of what carried Tennessee. But then tonight, and we talked about this a little bit at halftime, but this was embarrassing to come out and play defensively how Tennessee played in that first half. You know, the next time Boo Carter covers a route will be the first time this season. And I did like seeing that how well the time was managed at the end of the second half. We actually executed a 2-minute drill.
Second quarter,
I enjoyed watching that.
Yeah.
And then in the second half, kind of more of the same. It did feel like if Tennessee really wanted to, they could have pushed 80 tonight. I mean, I mean that Kentucky defense is good. I mean, I don't even have words for what that was. But I know Brian kind of said that they look like a juggernaut or whatever offensively. I think that says more about Tennessee than it does Kentucky's revamped offense, honestly. But
Kentucky can't play on offense. You're right. Yeah.
Good to see Brazel get back on schedule. And I really thought this was one of the more impressive performances just from the wide receiving core in general. You know, they didn't have the drops. They didn't. I thought every wide receiver, whether it was Staley, Matthews, the young guy that you've talked about that they have so much high hopes for, he got in there towards the end. Brazel again. I thought everybody from a receiving standpoint played well. So I'll wrap it up with this. I mean, it's Kentucky. Kentucky's going to Kentucky. That was a weird deal where, as bad as the defense was, there was just never a point where I even felt threatened that Tennessee had a shot to lose that game. Kentucky, that's an embarrassment of an SEC program right now.
Pretty amazing. Sean Sinclair, your thoughts?
2 years since they won an SEC game at home.
Yeah, they're brutal. Sean, your thoughts on what we witnessed tonight, then we go to the phones.
Well, I'm not sure what I saw. Texas barely got out of there with a win. Other teams have struggled with Kentucky. And yet, if I'm honest, I was mad the whole game. And I'm not so mad at Tim Banks. I'm getting mad at Josh Heupel for condoning this kind of crap. Believe me, I know we won by 3 touchdowns, but I'm watching defensive players that don't even try anymore. Kentucky quit this week. The whole talk in Kentucky was about Mark Stoops trying to find a way to get out of his contract. That team has totally quit. The only thing worse than our defense was theirs. But I found myself. And God, I know what I sound like right now, but I don't think I'm the only one that thinks this. They're talking about us going to the playoffs, and I'm watching. Again, Boo Carter. I mean, Idris Farouk. I know he got the touchdown. I mean, his best effort was trying to push a DB into another guy.
I like the touchdown at the end of
the last touchdown they scored.
Oh my gosh!
If I'm Idris Farouk, I'm taking my hat off. I'm walking out because I'm tired of people laughing at me.
This
Prelati guy started on the linebackers.
Number 27,
the
Prelati.
Absolute god awful linebacker play I've ever seen at the University of Tennessee.
Well, I would let Prelati play.
Gerard Prelati, I get you.
I would let him play. Who cares?
I would too.
At least he runs around.
He has no idea what he's doing.
That's exactly right.
But he'll run around. But I cannot watch Edwin Spillman, and I know there are fanboys that love him. I can't watch him or T. Lander play another play of football because they don't play football. And I know how I sound after a 3-touchdown win. But if you want, you're an unserious head coach if you sit there and let that happen week after week. That's not defensive football, and it's certainly not SEC defensive football. Having said that, we're 6-2. We scored 56 points. Joey, you had 3 receivers with 100 yards. Joey Aguilar looked fantastic. And everything's, believe it or not, if we take care of business, we'll likely go to the playoffs. So, and before I forget, congratulations, Danny White. I was on you a bit this week, and congratulations, Josh Elander.
To the phones we go at 865-200-5402. We covered that earlier today. Matt jumped on with me as well as Will Heflin, and we talked about the hire of Josh Elander, which really is the only hire Tennessee baseball could have made and should have made, and it was a proper thing to do. So congratulations on getting it right as we go to our TLD Logistics phone lines on Garza Law. Fifth quarter fan reaction. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, am I batting leadoff tonight?
You are batting leadoff. Go for it.
That is unbelievable. Well, I'm leaving the Krog, my first experience.
Yep.
In Lexington.
Yep.
I got to tell you, before I get into the game, just want to describe the pregame. I did do something pretty cool. Went to the Keeneland Racehorses. That was great.
Incredible.
Every Kentucky fan I talked to was begging to get blown out. They're so over Mark Stoops. And here's the spot they're in. You know, I know we're not thrilled with our defense, but imagine being in this spot. They can't fire him, not because of his buyout, but because they know they've got to compete against Arkansas, Auburn, potentially FSU, Florida, Penn State, on and on and on. They know they're going to get about their 10th choice if they fire him. They're in purgatory.
Yeah, plus they don't have any money. Like we've talked about this. They Mississippi State, for instance, I was talking about this during our Twitter Spaces at the half, and this is why when I watch Kentucky, I just know that they're going to be at the bottom of the league because they're not serious about the sport. From the standpoint that they're spending twice as much money on their basketball team than they are their football program. They're the only ones in the league that are coming close to doing anything like that this side of Arkansas. Arkansas is also very expensive in terms of NIL, but Kentucky just doesn't have – they're just not trying. And so that's what you saw on the field tonight. And the thing is, you know, for what they have, that Boley kid has to feel pretty good about himself tonight. You know, he was 26 of 35, 330 yards, 5 touchdowns, and at least they weren't moribund offensively like they've been through this entire stretch where they haven't won a league game in a couple of years. And they haven't won a league game in their building in close to 2 years now. It's crazy. They won one last year at Ole Miss. They haven't won in their building in close to 2 years now. 2 full calendar years.
It's brutal. I mean, credit to them for showing up. They were quick to leave. I mean, but
yeah,
my goodness.
Credit to them for showing up.
Yeah, they do want to talk about their basketball team. The guy tonight told me they got 10 starters. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we'll see how they can roll
that's
that
Kentucky
out.
Math, man.
10
starters.
3 7-footers and 10 starters is what he told me. I'm
there
like,
you go.
Well, see how you get. But, yeah, real quick, and I'll let everybody else get in on the game. Joey Agalar is not perfect. He's not. But I'm 35. In my life, he's the best deep ball thrower we've ever had, in my opinion. You know, that's including Manning. That's including all the guys after him. His deep balls tonight were absolutely on the money. None more impressive than down the sideline to Brazel. And it really makes me wonder, you know, not to go back, but we didn't even try one against Alabama. Didn't even try one. And to watch him just connect on every one of those in perfect throws, it kind of leaves you wondering.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, though, Bama gave you something and was giving you different looks than this club gives you. These guys are, you can hit them. It makes you know what it makes you really appreciate is how in the soup that Texas team is, that Texas team could only muster 10 points against that group and only 2 first downs in a second half of football against them last Saturday night. Can you imagine that? How bad Texas's offensive line and their execution must be?
I cannot fathom that, and I didn't see the end of it. I also can't fathom how they came back and won today.
Oh, they got Jeff Levy can't coach a lick. That's how they came back and won. I mean, he just no offense to him, he can't manage a football game. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh gosh, I mean it's unbelievable.
It was bad,
but. I'm not. I had a Boo Carter take in the chamber, but
give me a Boo Carter take. No, I want to hear your Boo Carter take because you're there. You're watching him live.
I mean, he's the best. He's the best paid designated fair catcher in the SEC. He's an unbelievable fair catcher of the football. And I think we need to re-up and bring him back in 2026. Keep him happy, double down, and let him keep coming back and fair catching. Y'all have a good night.
In other words, like take the summer off and just come back and be your designated fair catcher. Yeah, I don't know what to say about I don't know what to say about the SEC right now because look, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, Texas A&M's never done anything. Full stop. In the league, they just in any league, they're the best team. They're killing people. Okay, they murderated LSU tonight. That caller said they're not going to do anything because all these jobs are opening. LSU is opening after tonight. There is very little doubt of that. There was a report out there today that Sarkisian and the Titans are going to do a deal. That would be really interesting. That would mean there's another opening. I mean, this is going to be one of the craziest off seasons. And I'm going to tell you something. That Oklahoma team today that we saw, that's going to be in Neyland Stadium next week, when the Vols put it on them, he's going to walk the plank. This is not for the faint of heart, coaching. And these guys are a lot better off renting than buying. Now, I know they're making tons and tons of money, but you're almost better off just letting your family stay like where you're from or something. And you take the life-changing money and put it in your pocket. I mean, it's going to get silly in this NIL era where we are and what's happening in this league. But Tennessee's got an opportunity in front of them, obviously with Oklahoma, then a trip to Florida, then our Amachi tailgate game, then the Vanderbilt game at the end of the year. And Vanderbilt just continues to win. And I was a courageous, gutty effort by them. A very physical football game with Missouri today. And don't even get me started on the Alabama-South Carolina game today because Frankie Jr., that is coaching malpractice, him losing that football game today. There is some bad stuff going on for some head coaches in this league in terms of game management, and I'm not exactly a savant, but we'll run through that here in a little bit. In the meantime, let's go back to the phones. We celebrate Tennessee's victory. Presented by Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Look, whatever the discipline is that you need them for, they've got you covered, whether it's DUI defense or criminal defense, or maybe you've got an issue, a personal injury issue, or maybe you're having an issue with your insurance company, what have you, Social Security disability. They've got honest, trustworthy legal representation, folks that are part of our community, the fabric and fiber of our community. And Marcos, thank you for helping us with our tailgate for the kids, our Machi tailgate for the kids, which we are running on the screen. The email address of how to get the tickets in, we'll be tweeting it out as well during tonight's program. I need your tickets. We need your tickets for the New Mexico State game. We have 18 in hand. We need over 400 tickets. Can you help us? They are an organization, a mentoring organization. These are children that one or both parents are incarcerated. What could be any better than that? Talk about doing God's work. Yesterday we had Amachi Brooke with us down at Calhoun's on the river. She said there was a child last year that leaned over to her at the game and said, "Miss Brooke, I think I want to come to school here one day." She's never even been on the campus. That's the kind of impact you can have by giving up your tickets to that game or getting your friends to. And look, it's a bye game. It's New Mexico State. You're not going to miss it. You can break your streak. It's a good reason for you to break your streak. Let's go back to our phones. 865-200-5402. As we go back to our phones, Matt Dixon will be joining us here momentarily. And we'll get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. Madison in Texas.
Hey, Madison. Welcome in.
Hey, brother. Looking forward to contributing to the Amachi tailgate. Just a great cause, and looking forward to that. Appreciate you guys putting that together. But, Tony, I'm not going to let you off the hook. Now that we got a big win, I'm going to get myself a nice steak lunch here at the Calhoun's next week.
After that, you won the bet last week. Absolutely. Come on down, brother. I can't wait to see you.
It'll be fun, man. It'll be fun. And I'll just say this, guys. Offense looked great today. I think that Kentucky team has quit.
Yes.
I I do get behind the statement Cinco had that, the defense has a lot to work. It has a lot of work to do.
Mm-hmm.
And this linebacker play, the run fits,
Mm-hmm.
the way that we play zone coverage, I mean, it's mind-boggling. I don't know if we've had a quarterback in the SEC throw for 5 touchdowns and still lose by 2 or 3 scores. I mean, that's I don't know if that's happened in a while.
Well, I mean, to your point, right? At the end of the second quarter, Boley has a real nice throw in the back corner of the end zone. They come back and rerun the play. His tight end is laying over there in the left flat, wide open for a touch. There were 2 players wide open on the play. What in the hell are we doing on defense, Madison? And why is Tim Banks making north of $1 million to do it? He makes like $1.6 million a year. I could do that. I could do what he's doing.
Tony, I mean, you've heard me on the Daily Show and the post-game shows. Been extremely critical of these coordinators, both of them.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously, Tim Banks is in your sights after today.
Yes.
I think it's worth monitoring the Oklahoma situation. I live here in Dallas,
Yes.
and these Oklahoma fans are not happy right now. And I will say, I mean, these fans, they've been used to a certain level of winning that's probably not sustainable for them now in the SEC.
Yeah.
They're a little bit outside of their minds in terms of what their expectations are. But this Venables guy, he could be available at the end of this offseason. And after the game we saw today with Jeff Lebby, I mean, he could be available too. If I had my ideal situation, if you get Lebby, you get Venables, even if you get one of those guys, I think that's a staff that could win a national championship. If you get Venables and you get Lebby, say what you want to say about Heupel, but we've got to get some serious coordinators here, Tony, and this might be the offseason. You've seen all these firings go on and all this money that's being paid out to these coaches. If you're willing to pay Venables $5 million to come be our defensive coordinator, you're going to have a damn good football team next year. And I'll jump off here and listen. Tony, appreciate you having me on, and look forward to seeing you next weekend. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, Madison. Yeah, good talking to you.
I'm not sure that Lebby would be fired after 2 years.
He's not getting fired. It's impossible that he. But next week, after the Vols pin the 3rd loss on Oklahoma, and they won't be done losing, that guy's going to be in big trouble. The quarterback from Oklahoma today managing the end of that game, and I know the kid's out there gutting it out with an injury. That was some really, really bad game management, some really, really bad quarterback play. There was a lot of just odd stuff that went on in the league today, and particularly in that window. I don't know if anybody on the panel here witnessed the Oklahoma game today. Did you see, Brian, some of the choices the quarterback made, Mateer? He had a guy wide open for a first down, and he's on a 4th down, and he's trying to throw the ball 25 yards downfield. There's no way he was going to be able to thread the ball in there. Not impressed with Mateer. But Cinco...
Yeah, and...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you
well,
go
I was
ahead.
going to say, next year, I think the line for the Oklahoma-Tennessee game will go up above 2, probably above 3. It might be 5 or 6.
Oh, I don't think
it should be.
No, I don't think that's the case, Brian. It's going to open at 1. But you're saying that it'll be a bet that way. I don't know, because we can't stop anybody on defense, Bri. Again, Kentucky tonight. Last week, what'd they have last week in the game, Bri, with Texas? 10? They got to overtime?
They've scored 13, 14, and 13 in their last 3 games.
Thank you.
And they got 34 tonight.
And the thing about Mateer is, today he was Stone Cold Steve Austin. He does have games where he can push it downfield, and he can get hot on you. Boy, he was really bad today. Sean, do you think that our coach will be in the market for a defensive coordinator when the year's over? Do you get the sense that's going to happen?
Honestly, I don't think he has the stones to do it.
Back to the phones we go on the TLD Logistics phone lines. Hi and welcome in. That's one of Bino's great questions about him is, will he be throat cut enough, or what is the word? Cutthroat enough. Throat cut. That's good, Tone. to do something like that. At this level, sooner or later, you got to grow a little bit of a heartless streak and do what's best for your organization. I believe that players make coaches, and this year on defense, Tennessee doesn't have enough of them. But let's go back, and then plus the injuries haven't helped. Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome, as you're on Garza Law fifth quarter fan reaction. Hi.
Hey guys, Dave.
Hey, Dave. Welcome in, buddy.
Well, the good thing, here's the good news. Most likely, Oklahoma, they went from an offensive guy with that idiot out at USC, and then they went with a defensive guy like Venables, and then when they get rid of Venables, they can take our offensive guy off our hands. He can go home. Because he's not a serious coach, Tony. He's never winning anything here. He's an offensive coordinator that's a head coach. That's it. He's not winning anything. I was just like Sean through this whole game, watching this crap, this whack football. And that's what it is. Is this team going to be? Are they going to be any better next year? Probably going to be worse on the offense. As soon as this guy leaves, the better off we're going to be because he's never winning anything. That Lincoln Riley, he's never winning anything because they don't take the other side. They're offensive coordinators. That's what they are. They're not head coaches. A head coach is a CEO over the whole thing.
Dave, come on, man. Now last
you don't
year,
sit there with the
Dave,
clipboard in your hand.
Dave,
calling plays.
Dave, last year, what was the strength of the football team? Come on now.
What?
Dave, what was the strength of the football team last year? Yes, Dave.
The defense was,
okay,
Tony.
thank you. Don't compare him.
That is the exception.
Don't compare.
4 out of 5 years. This is by far the worst defense they've had.
Don't compare him to the guy at USC who that's all they do every year. Do not do
that.
My
gosh, Tony.
He's going to run all over
better
me.
Than that guy.
Oh, Dave, that's ridiculous. That guy loses 4 or 5 games every year.
That
guy hasn't even come close to scratching a playoff. That guy hasn't come close to scratching a playoff.
Playoff? Who cares?
That guy's a joke.
Oh, my gosh. So we had 0, and then we got our doors blown out because we're not serious. This is year 5. Next year's going to be year 6. Year 7 will be his last year. Y'all have a good night.
Wow. Dave's got Josh Heupel. Breaking news, Alex. Josh Heupel to Oklahoma. Who knew?
That was a shocking call from Dave there.
But you know what? I mean, I get what he's saying, but you know, I'm not there. I'm glad he's our coach. I think he can. I think there is a point where he can say, "Look, I've got to start playing some." Because let's get real. Given the SEC, we've had an easy schedule, and we will have an easy schedule.
Yes.
I mean, we're not playing. Certainly, we played Alabama. They're not the powerhouse they have been. Mm-hmm. Same with Georgia. But we haven't gone through a gauntlet like a lot of the other teams have, where you just get pounded week after week. It's been pretty spaced out here. But you know what? I believe Josh Heupel's a smart guy. I say I don't know if he has the stones. That doesn't mean he doesn't. But at some point, I do think Dave is right, though. I do think you can get to the playoffs with this guy, but you kind of like Ohio State last year. You're going to have to put a formidable defense that's placed to a standard, not to just the other team every year. I mean, every week, and you can't just go in thinking, "Hey, we're going to score more points." That just doesn't work long term. But I do think he can. He's a smart guy.
Sure, he is.
Venables, someone else. It's obvious that he has no interest in defense. I know he knows defense. I know at the end of the half, his feathers were ruffled because of the defense. He said, but in 5 years, he still condones the same stuff. So it's lip service until I see otherwise. But I believe he can. Someone Venables, someone else, he could easily hire that guy and turn it over to him.
Brian Hartman notices that Kentucky, Arkansas, Mississippi State are the only teams without a win in the league. No SEC wins between the three, and those are Tennessee's 3 league wins. So, not
That's
good.
easy.
Not good. Probably not
Well,
good. Go ahead.
Tony, Sean alluded to this earlier, but it's the truth. I don't think. I mean, last year was your year to make that move. You kind of look back at it and go, Tim Banks you really needed him to get an opportunity, because I think Sean's right. I don't think Heupel's a guy who's going to run Tim Banks off for subpar performance. But so it does. As a Tennessee fan, I understand the frustrations of people, because it does feel like you're just kind of stuck, and that's unfortunate, because you don't feel like Josh Heupel. He is a smart guy, clearly, but you don't. It does not feel like he's ever going to move off of that, even if it does come to the point where you feel like you've hit your ceiling because of what the defense is or is not.
Crazy year in the league. Crazy day today in the league. Man, I am fried after this.
Tony,
week.
I agree with you. I think Brian Kelly gets asked the question tomorrow.
Oh, he's getting popped. There's no question about that. Yeah, they're not going to put up with that there. Maybe they let him lose. Maybe they let him go one more week. But he was over there having an argument tonight with his quarterback. It was not a good look. So let's go back to the phones. But here's another thing that's weird about today is that road teams today, this was our one of these weeks where we all match up with each other. 6-1 in the SEC today. 6-1. And Vandy, Mizzou, the only exception to that rule is Vanderbilt in a very hard-hitting, crazy game. And Missouri today blew some serious opportunities to really, really blow a hole in Vandy's season. But it's going to be really interesting to see this Tennessee team and how they respond coming down the stretch. Because they have to be better defensively. They just have to be better defensively. And is there any way when they go on the road to like a Florida that they can quit hurting themselves? You know, that's kind of the question here. That's sort of my question. When you go on the road to a Florida, can you quit hurting yourself? Tennessee. Because they just do so many things defensively to hurt themselves. I mean, it just kind of is what it is at this point. We go back to the phones, and they're so fun to watch offensively. And to our first caller who was there tonight, there was a cleanup on aisle 3, I understand. But to our first caller that was there tonight, he's right about Agalar, guys. Agalar is a perfect deep ball thrower. I don't know if it's the trajectory of the ball. I don't know if it's his feel for it. But they came right out after it was a 7-point game, and Agalar just connects on one of those great intermediate deep routes. He's just so good at it, guys. So good at it.
And think he didn't get here until late May and had so few time. And now I think he's just been here long enough to where he might really light it up down the stretch when you think about it.
Yep.
This is a very uneducated, unscientific observation here. But to me, he just looks like he's throwing it. And what I mean by that is, like, Joe Milton, he was so in his head about not overthrowing it. Yep. And it looked like he was trying to place it. And then Nico, every time he got off of that shaky start in the first few games where he was overthrowing it, and it seemed like every time he had one open, he was just trying to, like the difference between when baseball, when you say a pitcher's trying to place it or pitch it versus just going out there and throwing. To me, they talked about the broadcast that Joey doesn't have the strongest arm. To me, it looks like he just goes, hey, I got to give this thing everything I got, and just launches the thing. I just don't – he just seems like he's not overthinking it and overcomplicating it to me.
Just has a great –
I think his I think his greatest skill is it because if you take a look, he had some nice passes. The one Matthews caught was not a great pass. Matthews just went inside and got it. If you'll remember the Georgia games, He got bailed out on a lot of underthrows by Brazel, just being incredible. I think his greatest trait is he's just not afraid. I just think he just doesn't give a flip and just says, "I'm going for it." I think he's just. I don't even think he's a gunslinger. I just think he's ultra aggressive, and I can appreciate that. Just let's go for it.
So, and
he's just not afraid.
Yeah, and he's just got an excellent feel. He's look, and he's not perfect like one of
His
our callers
timing is
said.
very good.
Very good. Very good. Let's go back to the phones at 865-200-5402. And pretty fired up folks and prepared with you. Shout out to Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. She got with our friends at Waterside Contracting this week and was extremely, extremely impressed. She had a client that wants to build a home. They've been doing it for 25 years. You go check out their website, watersidecontractingllc.com. And when you're ready to build your dream home, or if you want a custom home, or if you need a remodel job, they can do that for you as well. They'll build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's what they do each and every day when they get up. Waterside Contracting. As we go back to our phones on a night where the Vols 56-34 winners over Kentucky. Tennessee really never breaks a sweat in the game. The result to this one, never really in doubt. And Kentucky is a bottom feeder in every sense of the word in the league. Look down at their schedule and tell me where their SEC win is this year after watching them tonight. Hello and welcome in. You're on Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Hi.
Hey, Tone, Doc,
Hey.
Alex,
Welcome
Joshy
in.
boy.
Hey,
and
Josh.
Brian.
Welcome in, buddy.
Thanks. Well, I said it. I didn't say it publicly to you this week, Tom, but I think this week it was a get-right game for the offense, and they very much did so in this game.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah.
Our offense is excellent, and our defense is
Defense, not
rough.
so much.
Yeah, the offense is really fun. When it's clicking like tonight, it's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Now, would you rather have this or a team that can't score but has a great defense? I'd take this every day.
Oh, I would too, Brian, but there's going to be a game in the rest of the season where our defense has to win it for us. Our offense can carry us so far.
Yeah, eventually the bill comes due on you when you play that way. You have to have some semblance of a unit on defense. I just look at our defense and I ask you guys, what do we do right? What do we do well defensively? And I'm not sure what the answer to that question is. You could say, well, create pressure, but I'm not really sure we're all that. I mean, down in and down out, I'm not sure we're all that great at creating pressure.
I thought coming out of the halftime, the first two drives for Kentucky, they got off the field and sort of turned the game back into their favor where they were comfortable. I thought that was big.
Yep.
I think that was – and then the two turnovers that created points. But other than that, it was just really bad.
Yep.
How sustainable is it, though? We're about to find out.
Tony, what did you think about Joey's performance tonight? 20 for 26, 396 passing, and 3 touchdowns,
Josh.
and no turnovers.
Pretty awesome. I think Joey Agalar. Somebody pointed out over on the YouTube chat that personally I'd like to see him get out of the game a little sooner when the game's in already put away. But he was excellent tonight, no doubt about it.
Yeah, Tony, I feel like they are not rotating the running backs as much as they've done the last few weeks. I like to see Bishop and just Thomas because we all know Lewis is the odd guy out. So you think it's finally good for them to stop rotating consistently on the running backs?
Well, I mean, look, that's their call, not mine. I mean, all we can do is sort of speculate as to what they're going for as they're going for it. I'm a hot hand guy myself.
Yeah.
I'm not a, stick to your script when you come into a game with the backs. To me, the backs that are going the best are the ones I'd like to see in the game, especially when you get in these real games. Now, tonight's a league game, but you're playing Kentucky, who hadn't won in their building and going on a couple of years. So I'm not sure if tonight qualifies. Certainly the Mississippi State and Arkansas games did, even though they're towards the bottom of the league as well. Personally, I'm a hot hand guy. I go with whoever's hot, and that's who I stay with. I was glad to see Bishop get 14 carries tonight, and Thomas.
Yeah, he got a lot of carries.
Yeah, and Thomas get 10. I was glad to see him run the ball more in the second half as well.
Me too. Tony out the door, great win. Josh Heupel is 5-0 against Kentucky. Send Kentucky back to the coal mines. And Tony, we got 3 big games left. Oklahoma, at Florida, and Vandy at home. And I know people don't want to hear it, but Vandy is going to be a tough game in Neyland Stadium. And like I said, our offense is going to carry us as far as it can. And Tony, when it comes nut-cutting time, like the great Dr. Sinclair says, is the defense going to step us up and win us a game?
Thank you. We'll find out. 865-200-5402. As we're presented by Marcos Garza, your Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. As the Vols roll, again, Kentucky, Arkansas, Mississippi State, only teams without league wins. And those are Tennessee's 3 league wins. Now, we're getting ready to play some teams that you are going to compete with for playoff spots. I don't think Oklahoma's going to be there at the end. They've been in my sell category for some time, but they came into today with 1 loss. They figured out a way to lose today, which I have to give them a lot of credit. It was well done by them. Arkansas today, speaking of Mississippi State and Arkansas today had a game completely won against Auburn. They're playing an Auburn team that's got a new quarterback in. They were not doing anything offensively. Even with Arkansas's defense, they were not going to win the game. Arkansas somehow found a way to turn the ball over 4 times down the stretch. 3 interceptions and a fumble that was scooped up and taken back for a touchdown. And I have to give credit to them. And then Mississippi State tonight told Arkansas, hold my beer, because I'm going to show you what a bottom-of-the-table team does in this league. And they snatched a defeat from the jaws of victory against Texas. That was one of the damnedest things I've ever seen. It's like a 17-point comeback in what, Bri? The final 9.5 minutes, Texas was down 17. I mean, it was
somehow
it was unbelievable.
They didn't even cover, too. They had a 17-point lead as a 7-point dog at home in the fourth quarter. And I think if you had Mississippi State, you lost.
Yep.
That's just unreal.
It's unreal. And then
Colorado is just Utah is the only game on is 40-0 going into halftime.
40-0. I'm looking forward to watching the second half of that one. Then we've got over another game in the league, Alabama, who we saw last week. Now my guys on winners and losers, one of their power plays they threw out there was that Alabama game, and they were all on South Carolina. Reason why? Alabama's totally exhausted after what they've done. South Carolina should have won the football game. Here's the deal. Let me ask you guys this. You have a 7-point lead, okay? You've just scored a touchdown. Sean Sinclair, you're playing Alabama. You're in your building. There's about 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Are you going to kick the extra point to make it 8 or go for 2 and the win, Sean, and try to knock them out in that spot? What are you doing if you're Frankie Jr.?
Well, I'd like to think that given where they were, you go for the win. But
thank you.
Even in Neyland Stadium, I'm not seeing us go for wins. You know, I'm not sure. But you know what, Tony, this is not so surprising. There's the late great Roy Adams said one thing one time, and he said, "Losers lose." And there's never been anything truer in college football. When it gets pressure time, losing teams do stupid things. I'll remind you, Mississippi State was up 17 points going into the fourth quarter. They stopped Texas on a fourth down on another Arch Manning incompletion, and one of their guys inexplicably levels Arch Manning for a 15-yard penalty and first down. Losers lose, and they always do it.
Yep. And Texas, towards the end of the first half, was settling for a field goal in the Mississippi State game, and a kid decided to hurdle an interior offensive lineman and basically jump off his back. That's always been illegal. And he deflected a chip shot field goal that still got through, and he was celebrating the fact that he tipped it. His teammates were looking at him like, I guess you don't know the rule. But you see things like that in the college game. It's one of the reasons I love college football. It's one of the reasons why it's a maddening pursuit for those of us that love it. But let's go to the phones, and you're back, and you're on the air. Hello, welcome in.
Hey, Tony, it's Caleb in Bristol.
Hey, Caleb, good to hear your voice.
Hey, good to hear yours too, man. Not only is Vanderbilt going to be a tough game for us, but if we keep on playing like we're playing and they keep on playing like they're playing, we're not going to be favored when we play them. And people need to realize that. But anyway, the thing that Josh Heupel needs to do next week, win, lose, or draw, when he shakes Brent Venable's hand, he needs to ask him what number it takes to get him to Knoxville next year. Because that dude in the booth couldn't call out orders in a restaurant right now.
He's not having a very good season, is he?
No.
I can't figure out what Tennessee's trying to do with their zone defense, and they were doing it again tonight. And a couple of those Kentucky scoring plays were wide open, guys, like wide open. Unreal.
But and at the end of the day, Tony, Kentucky is a terrible team. We all know that. But you still let them score 5 touchdowns on you. You let Arkansas score 30 points on you. And, we just got to make a change. I'm not on the negative train where Josh Heupel's not going to be our coach. I think that's a little bit out there. But if he can't see that we need to make a change and be willing to make the change, he won't be the coach in the future. And that's just the truth of it. Thank you, Tony. Have a good night, man.
Thank you. I think the thing about all these guys in the SEC is it's all in the eye of a fan base and what you value. To me, I kind of remember where the program was. I remember what it was like to be there. I don't want to go back there. Tonight's a great example of why Josh Heupel is a high-floor coach, and we don't know what his ceiling is. I don't know. Is it
They've
10
given
wins? I don't. But as long as Josh Heupel's here, Kentucky's not beating you. Those teams are not going to beat you.
They've given up 31 points in every SEC game.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's ever happened before.
And they played 3 losers, right?
Yes. But Arkansas does have in all fairness, Arkansas has an excellent offense.
I agree.
Let's go back to the phones and get our next call in. But somehow today, Ravano Freeze got out of there with a W. It was pretty remarkable to me. Hello and welcome in. And by the way, Arkansas was favored in that game, like 4 or 5 point favorite. But let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on Garza Law, 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Hi. Hi, you're on the air.
Hi, Tony.
Hey, go right ahead.
It's Shelby and Michael. We were just at the game.
Talk to me. What'd you think of the ball game? Good to talk to you.
Good.
First off, love your show.
Love you, love your show.
Sad game. We expected Kentucky I didn't expect them to score as much as they did. But I think Stoops has got to go. I'm ready for him to go. I'm ready for a new coach as an alum. Almost alum.
This is my buddy. Oh, this is Mike and Shelby. Okay. So
yeah,
Mike's
Shelby,
a long-time listener to the show. Shelby was raised on our program. And she goes to Kentucky now. And Mike, you're still a Vol to the core. What's that like having a daughter that's, up in the Commonwealth doing her thing, and she interviewed me recently for a project. Shelby, you're incredible. I told your father you're an incredible communicator, and I if your future was a stock, I would buy as much of you as I could. But yeah, that's bad football, Shelby. You told me that when we were on the phone a couple weeks ago, though. You said that's some bad football they're playing.
Yeah, and I think you're spot on. The team has absolutely quit. It's bittersweet, Tony, to have your daughter, your flesh and blood, the apple of your eye, go off to the northern hinterlands, the North Pole of the SEC, and wear the blue and white. But they got one heck of a basketball squad. I'm going to turn it back over to Shelby because she's really proud of that hoops team. I don't know if you caught them last night, but they sure do look like they're heading to the Final Four.
Interesting.
We just wanted to say hey and that we love your show, and we're listening.
Shelby, love you. Have a great night, okay, guys?
Thank you. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. I was never scared, though, that you all were winning the game. Kentucky just, some years, Bride, those games feel serious. Like that one year Gitmo had to run and make a play for a first down several years back. Every once in a while, they'll scare us up there, Bri. Tonight wasn't one of those nights. I was never worried about tonight's game, the outcome of tonight's game.
Yeah, tonight I think was the first time they've won by more than 10 since I think in 10 years. That was the last blowout up there. But they've had some weird games where Kentucky will outgain us like 5-1 and still lose the game, and we won't force a punt, and yet we'll still find a way to win. It's just strange how I think that's 38 out of 41 now.
That's right
for Tennessee in the series. And things change in college football all the time. You see parity, you see things and things come and go and streaks come and go. But one thing you can always count on is you're going to probably beat the Big Blue if you've got a good team. I've never seen a Kentucky team beat a good Tennessee team that wasn't about to fire a coach.
That one night,
it just doesn't happen.
That one day in Neyland Stadium when Pruitt was over there with that smock on, and did we turn it over like 3 or 4 times and they scored 2 defensive touchdowns? That's the only way. That's the only way you're going to lose to that bunch.
Yeah, Gitmo threw 2 TDs to Kentucky in that game, and it was never close.
You got to love that. And Negative, see, I close my eyes. See, you need a little bit of perspective here because I close my eyes, and I can still feel that. And just because you're out there chasing coaches and brass rings, look at LSU right now. Sean, this guy at LSU has been a miserable failure. And they went all in this offseason, Sean. They're 5-3 right now overall at LSU. And they are far from done losing yet.
Well, the worst kept secret, he's not a good coach. He won 0 big bowl games at when he was at Notre Dame, and they, since he left, they've been to the playoffs and they've won and had great recruiting classes. Before he got here, LSU with Orgeron and them, you may not like Orgeron, but they've been winning. They can't do anything. He does not show up in big games. If it were not for the fact that they actually, for some reason, the SEC gives them all night games, he wouldn't win any games.
And he had a night game tonight, and they got their ass handed to them.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That A&M team, and look, it's been a mantra of mine down through the years, and I'm obnoxious with it, that A&M is popcorn flatulence in this league. But look, that's how crazy the year is. You've got Vanderbilt on top of the league. You've got, I don't know if they're on top of the league, but they're way up there by Vanderbilt standards. You've got A&M right now. You've got to say to your friends, if you're sitting around talking, hey, who's the best team in the league? It's got to be Texas A&M. They haven't played in a close game all year in the league. I mean, they're hammering people. They smashed LSU's face in tonight and made them like it. By the way, when it's time for a fresh coat, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting, interior, exterior. Walker's Painting, they're making it beautiful since 1999 all across our Knoxville area, whether it's new construction, repaints, whether it's commercial work, free estimates available. You tell them you heard about it right here over on Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. It's 10% off your first job. Let's go. Walk, don't run to Walker's Painting. And the number is 865-688-1410. 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. And you can check out the ad at tclub.team, where you also see the address. We really do need your tickets for the upcoming New Mexico State game. And shout out to Amachi Brook and all my friends at Amachi Knoxville, our 10th annual Keith Hatfield Memorial tailgate for the kids. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air. Hi.
Hey, what's going on, Tony?
Hey, welcome in. You're on the air.
3 quick observations from watching the Balls today. We look good.
Yes, sir.
But how close is Seth Luttrell watching, hanging on behind Joey Hasley? He's got a eye on that guy. It seems like we got a 1A and 1B offensive coordinator situation going on. 2, how did we let Marcel Reed out of Tennessee? You know he went to school in Nashville.
That's right.
And 3, Jacoby Thomas, letting that guy get away to Miami really hurt his cause. We went pretty deep, but can't replace him.
Here's a Jacoby Thomas
Hang up and
issue.
listen.
Yeah, thank you. The Jacoby Thomas thing we talked about 3 weeks ago because I dug into it. And basically what happened with Jacoby Thomas is you wouldn't lose him this year because they're not going to have spring transfers, at least not till somebody challenges it in the court of law. It's like a lot of these things, but it's a guardrail that's up now. It wasn't there. Jacoby Thomas's representative, they wanted to stay in Knoxville, but Miami made him a great offer. And Tennessee did not believe the representation when they said, hey, this is what he's been offered. They didn't believe it. Now, should they have believed it? I don't know. That's the thing about all this stuff is there's no reporting on it. There's no officially, this is my offer. It's like when Nico initiated the conversation with Miami back in December, and Nico's camp came to Tennessee and made up this crazy number, but Tennessee had a source there that said, no, that's not what we ought. No. First of all, he contacted us. We didn't contact him. And second of all, there's no way in hell we'd pay him that kind of money because they settled on the bet guy. And so I say all that to say this. Jacoby Thomas, obviously letting him get away when this is your secondary is a mistake. Although I don't know all the budgetary considerations and the ins and outs of that. But I think it's safe to say, guys, he's certainly an upgrade over what's back there right now. Yes? Jacoby Thomas?
He is this year, but let's get real. He wasn't much of a player last year here. I mean, he had a couple of nice hits. He was often lost in coverage. Obviously, we are now too.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, he got thrown out of at least 1, maybe 2 games for targeting. He just wasn't. He wasn't even as good last year as he was when he was at MTSU. But the player, if we had the player that he is this year, I think we're a different defense. He's having a wonderful year.
Now, the Reed kid is from the mid-state area in Nashville, and he has blown up. He really has. And, he's proof that guys are allowed to get better. And he has got.
Well, you know what? He wasn't. I think he's from Brentwood Academy, if I'm not mistaken.
He is.
And he wasn't highly recruited, even though he was thought of well. A&M kind of took a flyer on him. And boy, are they benefiting from that.
Yep, they've really developed him. Elko's got a very good staff. They do a nice job. And, they trailed at halftime tonight. And just layeth the hammereth downeth. There's some excellent coaching going on in the league this year in some unexpected places. A&M's one of them. Even though A&M's obviously they spend a lot of money on players year after year. That thing at Vanderbilt and what's going on there, that guy is doing a hell of a job with that ball club. A hell of a job.
Just think A&M could have had Mark Stoops.
Back to the phones we go. Exactly, Brian. Back to the phones.
Well, I think the thing that Clark Lee's done, which I alluded to earlier, is he's changed that whole loser mindset there.
How do you do that?
They don't. They had in no way, shape, or form did they think they were going to lose to LSU, and they certainly didn't think they were going to lose to Missouri.
No, and Missouri kept making the mistakes. Both teams were, and a bunch of penalties in the game, but Vanderbilt has a little bit of a clutch gene about them right now, which I never thought I'd say. But hey, I give them credit.
Yeah, but like that Pavia guy is in a way unlikable as he is.
Yes.
I mean, the fact is the guy's just a winner, and Clark Lee's obviously changed that program, changed the culture, done all of that. But to me, Pavia is as big a part of that as any. And I don't. I mean, he's just a total catalyst, and I don't know that I've seen a team rally around it and quite honestly just take a guy and one individual's personality like they have Pavia's in years. And again, I don't particularly like the guy.
Yeah.
But you can't deny what he's done and his impact, not just on the offense, but in that entire locker room.
Back to the phones we go. By the way, Nico, last several weeks, a really good story. I put him as one of my 5 favorite quarterbacks to watch in college football, simply because he's running around like he's running for his life. There's no running from that Indiana bunch. They walked on the field today with bad intentions for them. They got after him. They did not let him breathe. They hammered him into the ground. They smashed them. To see Indiana football performing like that, again, I just feel like we're in the freaking Twilight Zone.
How many
doing?
coaches is he getting fired this year?
It's insane. It's utterly incredible. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on our Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Hi. Hello, you're on the air. Let's try this again. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air. Go right ahead. Oh, that's a shame. You had something to say.
How are you?
Hello, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, Bobby, how are you?
Hey, welcome in.
Thanks for being there, guys, as always. Interesting day in Vol Country. I mean, the Elander news made me ecstatic. I really didn't think it was happening, and I think it was a great move by the university. I think that needs to be said. That's probably the biggest victory at the University of Tennessee today. Beating Kentucky's always nice. Should have curb stomped him. Should have run it there at the end. Are you guys surprised he didn't run it up on a Stoops? He hates the Stoops at large. Are you surprised he didn't run it up there?
Nah, not really. I mean, why do that? You know? No, I'm not surprised.
He's proved a point already.
He's only really showed his ass to Jason Simpson in the 5 years he's been here.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's a good point. Our defense is atrocious. I don't know what to say. The only thing I could say is maybe Kentucky hasn't had an opportunity to score as many points as they have, because we hung 21 more on them than any other team they've played. Did you guys know that? I didn't realize that until after the game.
Wow.
Also gave up 21 more points than any team they played.
Say it again, Brian.
Also, they gave up about 21 more points than anybody they played.
Right. I mean, yeah. We gave up. I don't think they'd scored 3 offensive touchdowns in the SEC game in like 2 seasons. So yeah, but again, we suck on defense. I didn't ever know that was in question. I think they had 14 possessions though. You're going to score points when you give away 14 possessions. Of course, we had a bunch of them too. So I'm maybe not as disappointed. Winning helps everything. But I'm really interested to see what happens this coming week. I'm glad that it's a night game. We finally get one of those. SEC keeps putting Tennessee after 4:30 at every place they send them on the road. They don't do us many favors, I'll say that. So it's nice to have one done to our opponent.
Is that a confirmed night game?
Yes, sir. They confirmed that right at the end of the fourth quarter. Actually, Mike Keith said it on the broadcast, and it's at 7:30.
Okay. Because I was wondering, I thought that they were flexed. I thought the 2 games, but it actually was the Ole Miss game. It was the Ole Miss South Carolina game, and then the Tennessee game. They were waiting on both those results, which was a little odd. Because I would have thought they would have flexed Vanderbilt and Texas tonight to the night spot. But I'm glad Tennessee
really
and
weird,
Oklahoma
Tony. They
were
actually set that That was the first
I
game
know.
they set last week.
Weird.
They said it at noon. That's so
Weird.
strange.
It is strange, yeah. It's strange.
And Vanderbilt's going to absolutely bludgeon Texas. Texas is abysmal. They're terrible.
I don't know. It's a really interesting spot. It's a great come-down spot for Vanderbilt. Gamblers are going to play Texas this week, I think.
I think you're probably right. Man, it would have been fun to see Mississippi State get those guys.
Oh.
That would have made our game down there look a little better. But, yeah, no, it's cool to have 3 100-yard receivers for the first time in 7 years tonight, too. I don't know if anybody noticed that. That's what the whole little out route to Staley was at the end of the game where he slid down. It was so that he could get 100 yards. So we had 3 100-yard receivers tonight. Lots of offense, fun to watch. The question, I guess, is, guys, can we ride that fun offense to the playoffs? In 22, we would have made the playoffs. I don't know if we can do that
easily
this year. Our defense, is it worse than 22 or is it better?
Oh, no. This defense is a lot worse than 22 defense, which wasn't very good. But this defense here, I just can't figure out what the identity is of this defense. But if you want to get in, 865-200-5402 is the number. As the Vols blow Kentucky out tonight, and now a night game with Oklahoma, as reported by Mike Keith. I'm going to take his word for it. Brian, have you seen that anywhere? That the Oklahoma game's a night game?
Yes, it's 7:30 kickoff.
Yeah,
7:30 kick?
But I figured it would be.
I've seen
after Oklahoma lost today.
Okay. You figured it would be after Oklahoma lost? It'd be a 7:30 kickoff?
I kind of thought they might put it at 3:30 if both teams were, 1 and 2 losses. But
7:30, that 7:30 game's the number 1 slot in the league, though.
Okay, I was thinking 3:30 was, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's 7:30 now. But,
okay, I'm used to the CBS way of.
Yeah,
but
we're out of the out with the old, in with the new. It's going to be neat because next week's a dark mode game, which I don't know. Has Tennessee announced that yet? Because they've been all the people that are around the university have been getting ready for this all year. It's kind of cool that they get a night game, that we see a night game, that the fans get to enjoy a night game. And it's going to be quite a scene next week. Sean, it sure would have been nice if Oklahoma would have won that game, and they probably would have traveled better. There'd be a little more weight around the game, if you know what I mean, but it'll still be pretty weighty. And it's special to have Oklahoma in the league, I think, Cinco, for the old schoolers like us.
I agree with you, but I think like you, I think Oklahoma fans now are just counting down. I think they want Venables gone.
Yes.
And I think that it was cute last year with the Heupel coming home and all that stuff.
Yep.
I don't see them make it, except for the people that have never been to Knoxville and want to do that. I don't see a big turnout. Certainly not like what we saw when Mayfield was here. That game.
Yeah, because back then it wasn't a league game. It wasn't a part of the regular rotation. There was something unique and neat about it. It was so great having Oklahoma in our stadium. I've always been just love their colors and obviously their tradition. You said it earlier, though. Oklahoma's in a new reality. Texas is in a new reality. You're not in the Big 12 anymore, and in this week, in this league, you have an off game. Chances are you're either going to play really close and make your hometown crowd mad, or you're going to get beat.
What they're realizing now is what we've said forever is and it's even more. You know what, you were talking earlier about these past 2 weekends, and I think we've seen some nutty stuff, but it makes me even more excited for next year with a 9-game conference. I know we're going to all beat the hell out of each other.
Yep.
But it makes for some great football watching. I mean, even Vandy, Missouri. Who would have ever thought you'd want to watch some of that? But I watched a lot of it.
Great
but
game.
I think what Texas and Oklahoma is learning is, back in the day they had 1 or 2 games a year.
That's right.
And you coast to the other ones. You get through 4 and 5. It's not the first couple of games again, and that's why Alabama's what they're doing is so incredible. It's not the first 2 or 3 games. It's that 5th meat grinder you have to go through in a row. it just wears you down emotionally, physically, every way.
Hey, Alex, you and I were talking about this off the air. You at one time a Titan fan and a big NFL adherent. It's tough to watch the league when your team's as bad as they are. And my apologies to Titan fans everywhere. You must be really heartened with the news that you're now flirting with the Texas coach, who's one of the more underperforming coaches in college football this year. Is that heartening you, Alex?
No. Not exciting at all. But to the other candidates that I've seen, I mean, I haven't been excited about any name, but that's just life as an Oilers fan at this point, unfortunately.
My friends at Calhoun's want to remind you they are the Taste of Tennessee. Look, there's a full card in the NFL tomorrow, and if you are hosting or entertaining, may I suggest Calhoun's to you? A party pack that you can bring home with you. A family pack is a great thing. They also cater and so many things. If you're next week for the Oklahoma game, we're going to be live. The way it's going to work next week is we're going to be live down at Calhoun's on the River. I'll be doing the show down there, and then the playbook with William Pattison will follow. Me, Russell Smith, Bear, Bob Baskerville, etc. They'll be on from 3 to 6 there, so we'll be out there all day. And then my band, the Fountain City Ramblers, is going to set up after that. We're going to play some live music with you and hang out into the wee small hours of the morning at Calhoun's on the River, the Taste of Tennessee, and usher in a victorious weekend as Tennessee going to get it done against Oklahoma. And, Bri, when's the last time the Vols beat Oklahoma in our building? When's the last time that happened, Bri?
It wouldn't have happened in my lifetime.
I don't think it's ever happened.
Probably not yours.
Yeah,
I don't think it's ever happened.
I don't think it's ever happened.
I think that might be the only time they played them was in 15.
We let Baker Mayfield, because Butch Jones, again, doesn't know how to manage a football game, we let them wiggle off the... I cannot believe that Frankie Jr. tonight has a chance to go up by 9. He's winning by 7. At the end of the game, Alabama would not have gone for 2 on you. You've got to go for 2 there and make it a 9-point game. What are we doing? We pay these guys millions and millions. And I saw Lane Kiffin today do what he did last week, which was take another timeout, 2 seconds on the other side of the 2-minute warning. What are you people doing? I mean, we're paying these people all this money. This is not that hard. The 2-minute warning in college football should not be. It should not be that big of a stump the coach thing that it's become at this level. And by the way, Jeff Lebby, when you are playing Texas and you're in your building and you have a 4th and 1.5 yards, go for it there. I don't care if it's on your own 24-yard line. Go for it. You knew damn right well Texas was going to score. That is just loser stuff, man. But he snatched a defeat from the jaws of victory. He could have really ended Florida's deal. Florida wanted Jeff Lebby last week to lose so they could, or win rather, so they could fire their coach, and they fired him anyway. Like Sean said, we're getting to this point in the year where fan bases are now going, hey, end it for our guy. End our guy.
How many coaches get fired after playing Mississippi State?
Exactly, Bri.
I mean, through the years, it's just been whether they beat them or not. They might even beat it. They might even lose to them or beat them, and they still get fired.
Well, they're just
but how many? Here's the thought, though, with all these big, I mean, really big time, and there's going to be more. Kelly's going to be gone. Venables maybe.
Yep.
Who knows? I think he probably will. But where are all the great coaches that are going to fill this vacuum? I don't think they're out. I mean, Kiffin was quoted as, and you can't believe anything that cat says, but he was quoted as saying, coming off the field, I'm staying here.
Sure he is.
Well, if that's the case, and I don't believe it, but if he does, where's LSU going? Where is it, Signetti? I mean, why would he leave there and come into this absolute wood chipper of a conference?
No, he just signed a new $90 million deal. He said that his AD went in there once a week and met with him and had a great relationship with him and hung out with him. And
what a concept.
Let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, this is Bill in West Knoxville. How you guys doing?
Hey, Bill in West Knoxville. You're up late tonight. Welcome in.
I'm about to call it. Hey, I wanted to get some insight from you, Tony. You may or may not know.
know we talked a lot about the defense. I know we were missing our linebacker tonight. I know we got a couple million in safeties or DBs that aren't on the field. And I don't know if it comes down to chemistry versus coaching versus who knows. But ultimately, I want to go back to when we had Coach Golish. And the reason I bring that up is because I understood him to be an enforcer on the team. He held players accountable. On the offense, I know, but that does trickle down through your team. And that also frees your coaches up a little bit to go there as well, to be a little bit more of an enforcer when people aren't being held accountable to their play and performance. Who is that on our staff now?
You know, that's an excellent question because I don't know who that falls to because it was Golish. Golish was the hammer.
It. He didn't take anything off of anybody, right?
No.
I mean, on the offense.
No, he was the hammer.
And coaches learn from coaches.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of talked about it as far as I think earlier you were talking about maybe a replacement like Venerables or somebody like that.
Yes.
But ultimately, I think we got a lot of nice guys. I think we rolled the dice on promoting our quarterbacks coach to be offensive coordinator. And don't get me wrong, I'm all in on the wall. But I'm just wondering, where is that personality in the staff? Because usually when one guy holds his squad accountable, you see that trickle over to the other squads. And I don't see that particularly on the defensive side. Now, I know, like I said, I know we got millions sitting on the sideline in the secondary.
Yes.
I know we were missing a linebacker. They looked focused.
Yes.
I think they gave effort tonight.
Yes.
But we're lacking. Talent, maybe. Coaching, maybe. Chemistry. I don't know.
I think it's all three. And look, I'm a big believer that you're only as good as the guys you put on the field. But that only goes so far. I mean, Boo Carter obviously is a talented player. There's no reason for him to look the way he does out there right now. Right? I mean, you laugh, but you know they're paying that kid several $100,000. They gave him a raise.
He looks conflicted to me, and I don't know if it's again.
It's interesting
because of everything that went on.
It's a good word. I like that
camp
word.
Or what?
Yeah, it's interesting. Conflicted. It's almost like they would have done him and done the team a favor, and if Heupel had to do it over, he could have just said goodbye to him. That's the way it feels to me, because somebody just referred to him as like a really highly paid fair catch specialist, which essentially is what he's become.
Right. I think he's the most athletic guy we got on defense.
No doubt about it.
I mean, that hit that he put on that guy, his speed, he wants to deliver the big hit, and I love that. I love Boo. But I don't know if they should have let him go if they wanted to go, or if the penalty was too much, but the chemistry is not there.
Yes.
I know you guys talked about before that they weren't communicating, so they worked on that on the defensive side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I saw a lot of communication. I saw effort. And like I said, I don't know if it's talent, chemistry, or we're missing guys, or guys aren't being held accountable. And that's what, you know, I'm like, and I have a theory. I could be wrong in this.
Yeah, hit it. Let me hear it.
I'm going to put Golish, and believe it or not, I'm also going to put Kiffin in the same category. When we were at a point turning our program around and these guys are looking the lead, you got to sit there and say, we've invested, this is an investment in getting the program fully there.
Right.
Once you get us fully there, they will beat your door down to get you, right? I know Golish wants to be a head coach, and I love that for him. But what they're paying him down there, we could have doubled that.
No, see, you're missing the point, though, because it's not – those guys want to go on and be their own guys. It's like the dreams. There's a lot of coordinators that just want to be coordinators, and they'll just be coordinators, and that's what they do. And they realize this is my calling in life. It's who I am. There are a lot of coordinators that want to be head coaches and know they're going to be solid head coaches. And listen, Golish today – they had he lost a game they should have won today, but Memphis hung in there and made plays late, and that's college football, right? But they've had a marvelous run. Golish has set himself up where who knows? Maybe the Florida gig falls to him. Maybe the Florida State gig falls to him. Maybe he ends up at like a Virginia Tech next year. Maybe he ends up at like an Arkansas for a really high payday. He was never going to stick around here when he had the aspirations of being a head coach. It was just not going to happen.
Granted, I give you that, Tony, no doubt.
Never going to happen.
I'm just, when you're at a pivotal point in your program that you're helping to build, so maybe his first step wouldn't have been to Florida where he is now. It could have been UNC.
Well, you hired,
and that's what I'm getting at. Now, in the Kiffin case, I know he said it was his dream job. His dad probably should have convinced him, hey, you made a commitment here. They took a chance on you. I don't know what that conversation was like, but I get it. I'm not saying it's morally wrong in any way.
Yeah.
But when you're the program and they've started turning it fully around, you got a value. That has to have a value. And like I said, we're only talking maybe 2 years more and say like a Golish case. But I didn't mean to get off on that.
No, he was,
really, what I wanted to know is,
but he was never going to
stay. Who is our enforcer on the staff? Who's holding? I think our defensive line coach is the best in the country. Mm-hmm. And he's got his head down. He's got his guys going.
That's it.
And he's keeping that moving. So I don't think it's coming from there, but I don't see it elsewhere where it has an effect.
I think it's well put.
Well, you always
Thank you for
remember also that Golish is not a Heupel guy. Golish is truly a Matt Campbell guy.
Cinco.
He identifies himself with Matt Campbell at Iowa State way more than he identifies himself with Josh Heupel.
Who swings the big stick on the staff? Who's the heavy?
Oh, I don't think they have one right now. I think it's everybody's a player coach. Everybody's.
Yep.
I'm not saying they're soft. You don't have to carry a big stick by being intimidating or something like that.
Yep.
You just have to. You have to have accountability. David Cutcliffe was one of the most soft-spoken guys you'll ever hear, but he had this concept called perfect plays, and if you had to run 10 perfect plays in a row before you got off the field at night, and it was almost impossible to run 10. 10 was really like 65. And it got into your head that you didn't want to do that again. You can correct free snap penalties. You can correct proper tackling instantly, but you have to make them accountable.
I'll never forget how when Philip Fulmer had David Cutcliffe come back there after his time before he left for Duke, and it was like magic. Like he was back, and all of a sudden, all the little intricacies were being done. At some point to Golish leaving. Look, I don't know. Was it the fact that Golish would have struggled if Joe Milton was a starting quarterback? He would have struggled. And he would have struggled if Nico was a starting quarterback.
We saw a little bit of that in the first season.
We sure did, Brian.
With Milton.
And that's the point. People forget that, though. This is a player's game at the end of the day. Now, Sean's right. It's a player's game, but coaches have to get it out of them. They have to hone skills. Here's the thing for Tennessee. I wonder, Boo Carter next year, with what they're paying him, I wonder if he's here next year.
Oh, there's no way he's here. No way.
I mean,
I don't. First of all, I think he's checked out. Second of all, I think they're tired of him. And I don't think he's a good player right now. I think he's a wonderfully talented athlete. I don't think he's a good football player right now. His performance doesn't indicate that.
Back to the phones. Go ahead, Al. You were saying. Go ahead.
Well, just when we're talking about coordinators and stuff, and the last caller from West Knoxville is talking about stuff like that. I actually want to challenge something you said, Tony. You talked about Golish. Some guys just know they want to be head coaches, and there's no question. But I think the money involved in the last 10 to 15 years, a guy like John Chavis, I don't think guys like that exist anymore, where you can look in the mirror and go, you know what, this is what I am, and that's okay. I don't know that exists. I think, and it's part of the reason why I'm thankful we have a guy like Josh Heupel. I don't know what his ceiling is. I don't know that he can win a national championship here. But I'm sure as heck glad that we're not looking for a coach in this offseason when so many other talented, like big time jobs are. Because who it. Sean mentioned earlier about Kiffin. Like, I don't know that there's that many. I think that's part of the reason why we have so many bad coaches right now is because there's guys that are taking jobs that really have no business taking those jobs. And I mean, in the business world, not everybody's the CEO. Then that's okay. But in the coaching profession right now, the money is so big that even if it's not really the best for you as what your job is, you're taking that money because it's life changing. It's generational changing money.
You have to take
it. And you have to because you're almost better off getting fired after 2 years and then going back to being a coordinator because the money's so big in the buyout. You can't. I don't know. It's just so different now.
Back to our phones we go. Before we do, Matt Dixon's now entered the chat. And TGMD, congratulations on the win. 56-34 over Kentucky. Should have been 56-35, which is what I predicted at halftime that the final score would be. But what did Kentucky do? They had to go for Dos Equis, ladies and gentlemen. Dos Equis Lager Especial. Golden Pilsner style beer made from the choice of hops. Balanced composition. Smooth, clean finish. Party guest always invited. Never overstays as welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, flavorful yet light tasting and smooth balanced composition and a clean finish. Go for Dos Equis. Go to dosequis.com and see how you can win free beer for a year. And Matt, how much beer would you need to be a Kentucky fan to get through that nonsense that they call a football team? Because that was brutal tonight.
There's not enough bourbon in the state for me to be a Kentucky football fan.
Wow.
That team's awful. That program's terrible.
Wow.
I mean, we can talk about Tennessee's deficiencies and the quote not a serious program, but we actually played one tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Really felt kind of like a scrimmage or exhibition. I think basketball game against Duke tomorrow will probably be more of a real game than tonight was. I mean, that Kentucky team sucks. But we let them shoot some fireworks off because our defense just decided to do whatever it is they're attempting to do out there. But I mean, it's a game you were never in danger of losing.
No.
After the early pick six from the Nation of Domination, and you just kind of went through the motions after scoring early in the second half.
Matt with an old school WWF reference. Farouk in the Nation of Domination. Can I hear ya? Pimpin' ain't easy, as they say in the trade. Yeah, but Matt, when you look at obviously people want to drill down on our defense, and I know you've been listening, and people get frustrated. But man, it's just kind of the way the game's played anymore. And I know we're kind of atrocious at times on defense, but that Kentucky bunch was never in danger of winning that game tonight. Not even when they cut it to 7 points before the half, because Matt, they came out and they gave us like 15-yard cushions on that last drive of the first half by the Vols. Some of the cushions were incredible.
Yeah, gave up huge cushions on the sidelines too, to where we could the clock would stop. No, that was brutal by Kentucky, but Tennessee, an excellent 2-minute drill there, and obviously doubled them up, with the middle eight there to start the second half too. So I mean, I don't know. It's a weird feeling because it didn't really feel like a real game for most of it. I mean, it's Tennessee's blowing them out, and Kentucky's kind of hanging around and scoring occasionally when we just decide not to cover anybody or not make tackles, which.
Or there wasn't a lot of compete from both defenses. When you have 1,000 yards in total offense in an SEC football game, 504 net total yards for the Vols, 476 for them. I'd have to say that the athletes on the field, let's see, compete's not a word I would use, Matt. I'm sorry.
No, well, they competed so little that hardly any of them were ever injured after first downs. They didn't even attempt to slow the game down at all. So kudos to both defenses for not faking injuries or laying down very often to get that thing over with.
And we didn't lay
You
down.
needed a running clock, early in that one. So.
Well,
no lay down lineman tonight.
No lay down lineman tonight, guys. I wonder if he got the message on that. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, because Tennessee scored quick a bunch.
Yep. Pretty interesting.
But no, it's the coal miner lights that Kentucky has on their band now, and all the railings and across all the aisles. I guess that's cool if you're into that kind of stuff. Congrats to the couple that got engaged during one of the TV timeouts in the first quarter.
What did she look
I'm
like?
Sure they're well. I mean, they'll be divorced in 2.5 years anyway, so it doesn't matter. But
Laura just came
nice
in
showing
here
by Tennessee fans again.
Matt, you just got me in Dutch, man, with my lovely wife. She just came around the corner and said, "Stop it."
Hey, Matt, you know how like on 4th of July
Who proposes at a Kentucky football game against Tennessee? Like, what are you setting yourself up for? Good Lord.
Did you hear the losers who were chanting block that kick after it was a 30-point game in the fourth quarter?
Your
after
mom
Tennessee scored.
Your mom and I got engaged that night that we scored 35 points on Tennessee. Yeah, that kid had 5 touchdowns. Oh, but mommy, what night was that? Oh, the Vols had 56,
but your mom's also
though.
your aunt in Kentucky, so there it is.
Okay, so back to our phones we go. Hello and welcome in on the TLD Logistics phone lines. Farouk with a Nation of Domination with an interception. I can't believe I didn't think of that myself. And hello and welcome in. You're on our Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction. Hi.
Hey, guys, this is Sharpie.
Hey, Sharpie.
I've listened to you for 100 years, Basilio, but I don't get to call in much anymore. But I'm always listening to you.
A lot of dead brain cells.
And,
Welcome
and I
in.
I had some thoughts on this Vitello situation, and I've heard a lot of people call you this week, and a lot of them have only been fans since Vitello took the job, and I was shocked at how many sheets were just like congratulating the guy on his new job, and I was personally really upset about it. When you've spent $109 million on these stadium upgrades and paying him $3 million a year, and I know he didn't get along well maybe with Danny White, but I've never gotten along well with any of the bosses I've ever had either, but they weren't paying me $3 million a year to do my job. And him flying the coop like he did, and I think what he's doing is a horrible decision on his part, because it looks like he's going to be making about the same money before taxes, which his taxes are going to be astronomical. And then I hear that he was in the off season trying to get the Texas A&M job.
No, actually, they were trying to get him. He turned it down.
But I guess I've kind of gotten over it, but I was really upset at what he did.
Sure.
And I'm glad they gave Elander the job.
Yep.
And maybe the skill set that he has with the catchers and hitting and just the players seem to be really excited about him getting the job, but I was really upset about what he did.
Well, and you're certainly entitled to feel that way. As it's Garza Law 5th quarter fan reaction, we've talked that thing out and talked it to death. And Matt and I were on the day that whole thing came down. We were on for, I don't know. I was on that day like 7 or 8 hours straight, about 5 of it without a break. But let's go back to the phones as we talk about the game we saw tonight, the Oklahoma game that's slowly approaching in the rearview mirror, and then the stretch drive for the Vols. Can they get home at 10-2 and for the second straight year position themselves to perhaps get back into the playoffs, which would be one hell of a coaching job considering what happened last year with Nico, who decided to leave himself. So let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony.
Yo.
Steve and Jasper.
Hey, Steve. Welcome in, brother.
Hey, I'm going to have 4 tickets for you to New Mexico State.
Thank you,
Probably
my
won't
man.
get them up there until Monday or Tuesday, but
you're a good
I'll send
man.
them in.
Thank you, brother. Yes, sir.
If you had told me before the season that one of our opponents was going to have a play where 3 different players on their team fumbled on the same play, they'd lose about 40 yards of field position. Tennessee would recover the fumble, and then they'd get hit with a penalty and give us the ball on the 5-yard line. I wouldn't have said it'd be East Tennessee State. I wouldn't have said it'd be UAB. I would have said it'd be Kentucky.
Matt, what was that like live to see that play unfold? And can you draw anything from your reservoir that resembles that play? Because that was one of the craziest looking things I've ever seen on a football field.
Yeah, that was really hilarious. I only saw 2 of the fumbles in real time. But the 15-yard penalty to top was just kind of a chef's kiss there. This just very emblematic of Kentucky football, especially in this rivalry. But no, I don't think I've ever seen a team literally fumble 3 times on the same play. That's really impressive.
And they kept Steve, my favorite thing is committing to the bit and keep trying to pick the ball up and make a play with it. I mean, if you're going to commit to the bit, man, commit to the bit, right?
I mean, Kentucky, they do some of the craziest things against Tennessee in football.
Yep.
You know, Hal Mummy used to, he'd fake a punt on 4th and 15 and it's on 20, early in the game. I saw them up there 2 years ago. I think they went for it on 4th and 2 or 3 and, inside their own 30 on about their first possession of the game, just give away points. But, I just, there tonight, what did you think about them I think they tried a 55-yard field goal at the start of the second half, trailing by 21.
Well, it's just high comedy. I don't know what I'm not sure what the Stoops guy's going after right now, Steve. Maybe you can explain it to me.
I can't explain Kentucky football, but I'll give them credit. They know basketball up there, but I don't think I guess that Brooks guy, he was pretty good up there.
Yeah.
But other than that, have they done anything since Bear Bryant was there? I don't know.
That'd be negative.
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah. Well, I get those tickets to you.
Thank you, my brother.
And have a good evening.
You're a good man. That's my man right there, Steve and Jasper. John Adams in the house. John, Matt just said that though Tennessee's defense can look kind of unserious at times, Kentucky has an unserious football program after he witnessed them in person. How do you plead to that after witnessing that this evening?
Well, I thought from the very first snap of the season that Kentucky had the SEC's worst program. It surpassed Mississippi State. It had that big win on Ole Miss last year. It hadn't won an SEC game since September 28th. I think what Kentucky's done a fairly good job of this year is just kind of muddling around and hanging in games.
Yep.
But that was sort of an illusion. It was when it got against an off. If the offense was more conservative and was content to just wear Kentucky down, run the ball, win the game, go home, fine. But when Tennessee came out attacking it, just horrible secondary play. It's pretty good against the run, but it was helpless against Tennessee's offense. I just can't believe. It really strikes me that these outrageous buyouts coaches getting. Mark Stoops is up there stealing money. They have to pay him $38 million to leave, and that's the program he's given them. That's a horrible program. They were just awful. And I thought the other main point I got out of this was Tennessee's pass defense has gotten worse. and it's well, it wasn't worse than Kentucky's today, but it's just an awful pass defense. If you have a competent passing attack, and Kentucky didn't, and it still threw for over 300 yards and 5 touchdowns. My gosh.
Matt, do you
That's
think, Matt, have we taken a step back with our pass defense, or is it what it's been, and it just is what it is? Where are you on that?
This is the worst. This is the worst.
I got to ask Matt. Matt, where are you on that? Is it getting
it's
worse?
Certainly not. It's not getting any better. And when your pass rush doesn't get home, or you can't flush a quarterback and allow them to still throw, there's going to be guys open. That's just, I don't know.
This is a freshman quarterback.
Colton Hood, I don't know if he even played in the second half. He was limping pretty bad coming out of the half. So, he wasn't out there for, I don't think any of the second half. But even when he's out there, there's just guys running wide open, usually down the middle of the field.
There was one touchdown where there were 2 guys open.
Wide open.
And Cutter Boley didn't see the main guy. Yeah. I mean, it was a short throw. There was nobody within 10 yards of him. Instead, he threw the ball to a receiver deep in the end zone, cutting across the end zone. He was open, too. It was a really nice throw. Yeah. But he had an easy throw. Tony Basilio could have made that throw to the up guy. It's a touchdown.
Hey, John, something's got to give next week, because this guy from Oklahoma is dreadful pushing the ball downfield, and we are dreadful stopping it. And what's that old saying about the immovable object and the something force, or some saying? It comes to mind when I think of Oklahoma's passing game, their vertical passing game, and our defense stopping the pass. That guy today was dreadful from Oklahoma. I mean, dreadful throwing the football, like dreadful.
Yeah, I watched that guy play at Washington State, and I watched him play in the first part of the season. It's not complicated.
Yes.
The guy broke his hand and had no business going out there and playing. He can't throw the ball the way he did. He was first part of the season, he was the best quarterback in this league. Made tremendous throws. Great runner. I mean, now he's a hazard back there.
He's a hazard.
He had open receivers. Here's the thing. He was carrying their offense initially. They don't have receivers who can stretch the field. They got a couple of guys who are good possession receivers. You get it to them, they'll make a play. But this is not a well-designed offense. They don't run the ball well. They got average running backs. And the whole offense was built around him. And then once he got hurt, for the life of me, I can't understand why in the world they thought it was a good idea to rush him back. He shouldn't have come back till the Tennessee game. Based on what they said initially, how long it would take him to heal from this surgery.
Matt, what's your fear level of the Oklahoma game next week? And then we go back to the phones. 1 to 10. What's your fear level?
It's really, it's a high variance game because of Mateer, the way he plays. He's reckless, but he can make plays.
Yes.
And then Tennessee defense likes to give up big plays, but then they'll create some turnovers and sometimes even score off of them. So it's a high variance game, I think. But Tennessee's the much better team. I don't know. I don't think Oklahoma scored more than 26 in a game versus a Power 4 team this year. So if Tennessee's offense has just a pretty decent day, you should be able to outscore them. But I would have thought that tonight too. But it's definitely a tough game, but it's at night at home.
Dark
as
mode.
As long as Aguilar can handle all the blitzes and all the aggressive defense that Venables is going to throw at him, I think Tennessee should win. And it really, Brent Venables could be coaching for his job because you lose to Texas the way they've done. You lose today.
Yes.
And then if you lose to Heupel, Oklahoma people are not going to like that at all.
2 years in a row.
He really could be in some trouble if they lose here next week in Knoxville.
2 years in a row, Matt, to your point. Yeah. Losing to our former national championship coach, a very proud program. They didn't come into the SEC, and I know they've had an impossible schedule the last 2 years. but fan short for fanatic. They did not come into the SEC to be anybody's middling program, but I'm afraid unless they get the right hire, that's going to be where they are for a while, because there's just this league is going to have a tough middle, and Oklahoma's part of it. They're certainly going to be good enough to beat the Vols, and it's certainly going to be a game where, you know, when you look at the power ratings, those teams lay one on top of the other, just like Tennessee and Vanderbilt do. And the trip to Florida won't be easy either. So Tennessee's got a lot of work cut out for it. If we can get there and make it happen, and we'll see what happens. And John's got me saying it now about the Vols. I like when John says that. And by the way, I want to say this. My friends at VIP Play, today we had a VIP Play parlay. And on the VIP parlay, it went off today. It was our 3-pack pick parlay. Brian, how did we end up doing on our 3-pack pick parlay? I want the letter grade from you right now, Brian. Here they are. You ready? South Carolina plus 11.5. Win or loss?
That's a win.
The other one was
Missouri. I get Vanderbilt minus 2.5.
Vandy
Missouri.
minus 2.5.
That's a win.
And then Mississippi State plus 7 with Texas.
That would have been a push.
Damn.
If it's 7.5, we go 3-0.
What are we doing over at VIP Play? Cash those checks. Cash those tickets. Ladies and gentlemen, go claim your VIP Play welcome bonus. Your first bet, $20 or more, you get $100 in bonus bets. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. Again, TN Tony. Full slate in the NFL later today. Oh my gosh, it is later today. This is scary. 200 leagues, live always, numerous bet types, props, options. I'll be betting on the Philadelphia Union against Chicago Fire tomorrow evening. Why? Because I'm a degenerate and a punk and a clown. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet as we go back to the phones. There's one ball game on right now, and Utah is up 46-0 on Colorado right now. Utah has got Colorado back in the pre-Bill McCartney days. I mean, they're beating them like they're mad at them. As we get our next call in, hello and welcome. You're on Garza Law Fifth Quarter Fan Reaction as John Adams has joined the show. Matt Dixon's joined the show. Cinco's here. We've got Alex Myers in the house and Brian Hartman, both of whom will be with you tomorrow on Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime. As soon as Tennessee and Duke, as soon as that one goes final in the arena tomorrow night, which would be great to see Duke for the first time in history play in Knoxville. Very cool. Very cool. And if Krzyzewski was still there, well, never mind. Hello and welcome into our next call. You're on the air.
Tony, hey, Max Smith, Nashville, Tennessee. Came up to Calhoun's on the river a couple weeks ago. Incredible showing. I got to meet Bino, got to meet you for the first time. And got to tell you, any listeners who haven't been, you got to experience it. It was incredible. Dropped off a few gifts for you, Tony, after you told me about your favorite athlete, Randall Cunningham. But an incredible time. So thank you for having us.
Well, I got your Smith secondhand collectible sticker right on my Tennessee clock here.
Secondhand Smith. It's a
secondhand
name.
Smith. Look at that, bro. Look at that, brah. Right there for everybody looking. Just so you know, we're not playing games here. This is no games. And Matt, it was really incredible meeting you, and I appreciate the email. Max, I'm sorry. It was great meeting you. It was, and thanks for the email earlier in the week.
You're only my hero, so it's okay.
I'm gonna come back to you, bro, at some point. But thanks for the email. Thank you, man.
No. And I've actually got another Randall Cunningham rookie card.
Oh, let's
signed.
go.
I've got it mailed to you.
Let's go.
Oh, it's beautiful. But hey, let's jump into the game. All right, so I think even before this, every game is a playoff game moving forward.
Yep.
I mean, you lose one, there's no chance of making the playoffs. So tonight was nice. I mean, I think the one thing, talking to every one of my friends and all the group texts, what happened to Tim Banks? Did you remember the time last year? I mean, we had different personnel, but we were worried we were going to lose him. we were worried about people picking off Tim Banks as, a potential head coach elsewhere. What happened?
He doesn't have players.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. And a bunch of injuries.
A lot of injuries, but, some of the play calling fairly questionable. All right, so moving on. I talked to a good friend, Bear Graham, shout out. I feel like this season is defined by two plays so far. You've got the missed field goal, Max Gilbert, Georgia game. And then it's pretty fresh, but the catastrophic play action pass at the end of the first half last week. Those things go the other way. I mean, this isn't that bad of a season. I mean, despite having a pretty, questionable defense, this could be one of our best seasons. But those two plays have defined the season. Would you disagree?
No, look, I think this league is going to find you out. Matt, it might have been you a couple weeks ago. Tennessee has 2 losses right now. That's probably about where they should be. Dixon, that's what the Vols look like to me. They look like a pretty good team. Certainly not a great team. A maybe playoff team, Matt, if they can keep it together down the stretch. What do you think, Matt? It's what you said. I think their numbers are pretty indicative of where they are. Go ahead, Matt. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of evened out.
Yeah.
I think you've got like a 9 or 10 win offense, but you've got a 5 or 6 win defense.
Yep.
So you're probably going to wind up in between there somewhere. I mean, you could still go 10-2, obviously.
Yeah.
I guess the hope is to when Vandy comes to town there at the end that's kind of a play-in game for the playoffs.
That would be great.
That would be best case scenario for Tennessee.
And Max, to your point, when you're as beat up as we are on defense, plus you're just not that good, it's kind of miraculous now if you think about it that we got out of Mississippi State. Thank God they don't know how to win. Because I've watched them now.
Or Arkansas.
Well, Mississippi, those teams just don't, like Sean said earlier, those teams have no idea how to win games. That Mississippi State team tonight, hey, John Adams, that loss that they had to Texas today, that is an atrocious loss by Mississippi State to lose that game in the spot they were in. Can't lose that game.
Yeah, I didn't watch much of that game. I saw the score. But were you really that surprised? Because, as Matt said, these kind of teams, these programs that lose all the time, they find ways to lose games. They fritter away leads. They make bad calls, bad plays.
Yeah.
Texas is not very good. And
they get Vandy next week.
Well, they're not beating Vanderbilt.
Hey, Max, are you starting to come to the conclusion that Vanderbilt's a real deal team after watching this little stretch here?
Oh man, so we're here in Nashville.
Yeah.
All of our friends, and clients, and everybody. They're very, very excited. I think by the end of the season, the way their offense is run, they could be pretty beat up, and it could be really good for us to be playing them at the very end of the season. But I don't know. I mean, I pulled up their stats the other day, and it's not like they have 2 or 3 great players. They're passing the ball to 12 different players, or they have 8 different players running the ball. So it can work really well. It can work against you. I think Clark Lee's an incredible coach. We all grew up with him here. Great guy.
Interesting.
So
tell me about Clark
spot.
Lee. Tell me about him, the person. Give me something like when you say great guy. Tell me about Clark Lee.
He's just a good guy. You want to hear a very funny story?
Yeah. Go ahead.
We used to live next door to him 2-3 years ago. At the end of Thanksgiving, you get rid of all your pumpkins, right? So my daughter and I took all of our pumpkins, and we were going to feed them to the deer that are in the lot between our houses. So I said, hey, London, I have an idea. Why don't we break up these pumpkins and spell Vols in really big letters and face it toward Clark Lee's house? And I think the guy's probably watching a lot of film, probably never noticed it, but maybe he did. But he's a good dude. He used to have long curly hair, and now he does not have as much hair, much like you, Tony. But no, he's a good guy. He's well-spoken. I mean, I think it would be hilarious to see him move to Penn State. I think that would be one of the most ironic moves ever. Hey, I want to go back to what you said earlier about having Alabama and Georgia as losses marked early in the season. I mean, that was before we knew we had Joey Jesus football on the team. You know, these are games we should have won this year. You know, one play. I mean, Alabama, who knows? I mean, I think they're way better than we thought after the first week, but I think we're not that far away from being a really competitive team. SEC even, NIL changed everything. It's all very even week per week. It's like the NFL now, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, we had them marked as losses before the season started. Are they though? I mean, I feel like we're much more competitive than we expected.
Oh, I totally agree with that. When Nico left, and I appreciate the call, when Nico left, and great seeing you. Thanks for the kind words and the gifts and all that great stuff. When Nico left in May, I thought to myself, and it's just me, boy, it'd be really great to go 7-5 this year and not bottom out. I thought, good gosh almighty, what is going to happen here? Landing on the Agalar guy, who was really great tonight. And man, he just continued his string of just throwing the deep ball so well. It's fed into a theme in the league this year, which is it is completely upside down. These teams are one on top of the other. There are several teams that are like Tennessee that are saying, if it wasn't for this play or that play, we would have won that game. It's like a one-play league right now. Georgia has been flirting with losing week after week after hammering people that they would get on the field with that had their full-throated attention. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but Georgia doesn't have that gear this year. They don't have that hammer team gear that they've had under Kirby in recent years. Alabama came very close to running out of steam today. I cannot believe that they didn't go for two at the end of that game. I just cannot believe that Frankie Jr. did that, Matt. I cannot, for the life of me, believe that you would get in that spot and kick an extra point to make it an 8-point game when you can go for two, make it a 9-point game, and end the damn football game with 2.5 minutes left. When you go for two, when you go for an extra point in that spot and make it 8, everybody and their mother knows what's getting ready to happen. John, am I wrong about that? That you cannot kick the extra point there? You've got to go for two? Because you have to go for two there.
Well, no, because it's harder to make a 2-point conversion than to kick it. I wouldn't have gone for two.
Oh, you have to end the game there. If you get a chance to make it 9, you're already up 7. So an extra point makes it 8.
Yeah.
A 2-point conversion makes it 9. You end the game there. You make it 9, and you end. This is not 19.
I know, but
this is
then you've got to,
anymore.
if you make it 8, then they can't just kick. If you miss it going for the 2-point conversion, then they can tie it by just kicking an extra point.
Right.
They don't have to go for two.
What were they going to do anyway? They were always going to tie the game on you. They're better than you are.
Oh, but you can't say they're going to make a 2-point. It's hard to convert 2-point conversions.
Matt, what would you have
done?
Yeah,
but the thing is that it goes back to what we talked about earlier with winners win and losers lose. And if Alabama's on the other end of that, then I think John's right. Where the worst team's not going to do two things. They're not going to come down and score on you and execute in that situation on a must-have 2-point conversion. But when you're the lesser than team, and it goes back to like what Tennessee fans were so mad about Butch Jones when he didn't go for it and kick the field goal on the 1-yard line. Like when you're the underdog in that situation, you've got to take the game. You can't just, you know what I'm saying? Like you have to be the aggressor and go out there and win it because the other team's not going to lose it.
Yeah, but the odds of making a 2-point conversion are not good. I mean, I can understand about being aggressive, but I wouldn't have wanted to create a situation where Alabama could tie the game simply by kicking an extra point. So if you get with an 8-point lead, they were forced to make a 2-point conversion, and they made a great play to do it, but you can't assume they'll do that.
Matt, what would you have done?
I kind of like the idea of trying to put the game away and going for it. And I think it's kind of a judgment deal. I mean, who knows what their 2-point conversion play is, or how that would work out. But I think you go. I like going for it there because if you make it, you're 3 yards away from winning the game.
That's it. Game's over.
And even though I think Alabama had only scored 1 touchdown offensively, like the whole game, so they still, your defense still could have won it for you if kept them out of the end zone. But I think everybody knew once Alabama moved the ball, got that first down and moved the ball, they were going to score, and they were obviously going to get 2. And once they scored the touchdown, the 2-point conversion was kind of automatic, I thought. That's
Why would you
that's
say
what
that's
Alabama does. They just
automatic, Mike?
make the winning plays when it matters.
Losers
It's
programs
so disappointing,
Yeah, John,
so
that was-
frustrating.
because it's
Didn't give
automatic.
up the time points, then
Yeah.
they turn the ball over immediately.
Always going to
And
happen.
Alabama has a short field.
That's exactly right, Brian. That led to everything that happened after that. And that's the whole concept of some of these teams know how to win and some of them know how to lose. And you know what South Carolina's doing? And I'm not picking on Max. I'm not, because I love him. But they're sitting there like Max tonight and going, well, if we make a field goal against Georgia, we would have won the – that is true. But my lesson from that game now that we've had several weeks is that Georgia's just not a great team. They're a pretty good team. Like, we're a pretty good team. I'm not sure who's great in this league. Maybe A&M, for once in their life, will answer to the definition of great. Maybe they're a great team. They're blistering people.
And Alabama doesn't look like
punished
Saban's
LSU.
Alabama. They did.
No.
They look beatable.
Of course they do. And Tennessee, if Tennessee didn't commit that turnover last week, Bri, which is a great point by Max, we could have been sitting there last week celebrating a victory. Because when you go back and look at the numbers in that game, Tennessee played right with them. And we're certainly not great by any stretch of the imagination. We're pretty good. We're in a league of pretty good this year. Maybe A&M is the best team in the league. And maybe they're going to finish. Maybe they're going to finish well. Maybe they're actually going to get to Atlanta. And maybe they're going to win out and vie for a bye. I mean, maybe all this is going to happen.
They'll be favored to go 12-0. They'll be favored the rest of the way.
It's crazy.
Looking at their schedule.
Sure. Are they for real? I mean, do you all think they're for real? Are they going to win all their games?
I do,
Yes.
Tony. I think they're a complete team.
Yeah.
Marcel Reed is improved a lot. He's one of the more improved players in the league, I think. And remember, they handled LSU with ease in Tiger Stadium without their best, you could say maybe their best offensive player, Le'Veon Moss. And part of their success goes back. They had a good nucleus returning, and they went out and got receivers. And that's elevated their offense. I think Mike Elko's a pretty good defensive coach.
Yeah.
I look at their schedule now, and they could lose. Worst case scenario, they lose to Missouri and Texas. Well, they're still in the playoff.
Easy.
And let's not forget, they beat Notre Dame at South Bend.
That's exactly
and Notre Dame is sitting there probably going to end up in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But if it came down to a tiebreaker, the Aggies win it because they beat Notre Dame on its home field.
Back to the phones we go at 865-200-5402. The TLD Logistics phone lines are burning up. Personally, I go for the knockout punch. Just like if I'm Mississippi State today, there's no way in hell on 4th and short I'm kicking that ball back to Texas. No way. No way. We've seen the script. You knew what was going to happen. Now, I didn't know, none of us knew that a punt was going to be taken back for 75 yards for a touchdown. But you talk about a team that's living on borrowed time. That Texas Longhorn bunch and that offensive line they have. Oh, poor Arch Manning is just, next year he stays with them. He's going to have a sponsorship from Band-Aid. The Cool Pack folks down in Chattanooga that have ice packs that you can put on any area of your body. What are some other NILs, John, for him? His own ambulance service, maybe? I mean, good gosh, man.
They have the same record as Tennessee does.
He did not,
and it feels like they're 2-6.
He did
Yeah,
not.
I've got one. Weekend getaway. He needs to get away from that offensive line.
Back to the phones we go, like Wyndham Vacations. Him and his goofy father.
He's
welcome.
constantly getting away from defenders.
Hello and welcome into our next call.
In the backfield.
As Oklahoma's back in the game, now down 46-7 with 9 minutes left. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in.
You mean Colorado?
Colorado. I said Alabama. Hey, wishful thinking. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Big dog from West Tennessee.
Hey, brother, welcome in.
So, the last week has been what I felt like was one of the worst weeks of my life, except I experienced that a year ago. But watching Tony go to the grandeurs of the major leagues, and then I'm on my way to beautiful Bolivar, Tennessee, and you jump on and tell me that Josh Freelander is going to be our new coach. I felt today like we were going to do some things against Kentucky that had been like the last few years that we just haven't done. I was so excited. I felt like a new birth tonight.
Yeah, I think naming Elander, waiting a couple days to name him, sort of softens the blow of losing Vitello. If they'd just gone straight to Elander, I don't think you wouldn't feel quite as good as you do now with waiting for a little bit, because you started to think they weren't going to make that move, and they do.
Yeah, the backstory on it's very great. It's very interesting, and we'll get into it on the show this week, but there is a backstory to it.
Hey, Tone, I'm not a big guy on Twitter or whatever, but I have backed you because I know the people that, give you your stories. I believe you because I've been with you for like 20 years, bro.
Well, I have no reason to make anything up with regards to anything, and particularly that story. But I don't want to get into that tonight. I want to celebrate the football win tonight and the Oklahoma game next week, man.
That's right. Hey, tonight, I felt like after the Elander announcement, I just felt like we were going to do what we did tonight against Kentucky. We hadn't done it for a long time, and it felt so good to do it. I just felt a relief that we hadn't had, for the last week. It felt like a dark cloud, and I felt like it was lifted when we got against Kentucky. And, it's just like one of those things was just, we took care of business tonight.
No question. Kentucky had 0 Zippo chance in that game. Matt, I wish we were a little better defensively because Kentucky deserved what did the final score deserve to be for Kentucky tonight, Matt, with the level of effort they brought to the table and level of want to in that game?
63 or 70-20.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. And if you're better defensively, that's the final score.
I was screaming for a 70 burger because
why not?
I feel like there's not much left for Stoops to do, and I felt like this was a perfect trap game for Heupel because we just got off the Bama game, we got Kentucky, and then we got Oklahoma next week, and I feel like it just I wanted 70 on him, and I don't know why he didn't do it. I'm glad he didn't because next week I think it's gonna be like that game.
Yeah, Kentucky really deserved to take a season beating, and I mean a season beating tonight. When you walk out there and you're that listless, and that disrespectful of the game. I mean that play that a couple people referenced, I guess Steve did an hour and a half or so ago, where they have 3 guys fall on a ball and then they commit a personal foul penalty at the end of it. I mean, that is just horseshit football. What is that? It's so unacceptable, man.
It's almost like Kentucky went out there to prove that, hey, some people doubt us. We're the worst team in the SEC, and we're going to show you why.
That's exactly right. We are the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Tone, I knew today was going to be a great day because, like I said, what my life has been like in the last year. I've experienced major loss, and when Tony decided to go to San Francisco, it was like another loss to me. But I went ahead and I ordered a San Francisco Giants T-shirt.
Nice.
And it arrived before I even walked out the door this morning to go do the things I was going to do today. And I'm so excited about Tony Vitello. It felt like I got over, kind of what I felt like was that loss. I feel like I'm so excited about what happens to Tony. I hope he wins 20 World Series or however many years. I hope he never treads on college World Series again. I want him to win as many championships as he can as the Giants. And I'll be wearing my Giants T-shirt many times. And I hope the Vols win as much with Elander.
Thank you, my brother. Yeah, I think Tennessee did the right thing with Elander. And we'll get into it on the show this week. It's kind of an interesting deal because that was not a national search, but we'll talk about it. Score a TD every time with T3 vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka, and it wasn't a national search because it never had to be, which is kind of how it went. Handcrafted with passion and precision, a whole lot of pride. T3 vodka, your volunteer state has been taken by storm. Handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where the great Josh Elander has chose to settle down with his family. He had several chances to leave and didn't do it. Turned down some SEC baseball offers and didn't do it. Look, quality here isn't a promise. It is a way of life. Filtered 10 times, 80 proof. T3 vodka, delivering a smoothness unmatched, a dedication to excellence, earning T3 prestigious accolades like 5-time gold medal winning vodka, 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Medal winner as well. So whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, or mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 vodka is your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 vodka by name at restaurants, wine and liquor stores. Drink it neat, drink it right. T3 vodka. Score a T3 TD every time. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company, and we ask you to please drink responsibly. And Brian, what was the T3 TD of the night?
I'll go with the drive right before the half. Ethan Davis caught a 14-yard TD pass from Joey Aguilar to make the score going into halftime. I believe he made it a two-score game, I think 35-21.
Yeah.
And Kentucky just got within 28-21 after scoring 14 straight to make it close again. And then that sort of opened the floodways for the start of the third quarter, where the defense gets Kentucky to off the field twice, and then the offense answers with touchdowns to go back up 28 again. So I'll say the Ethan Davis catch with 13 seconds left in the half, or 5 seconds left in the half, on the 2-minute drive to go down the field to take control of the game again.
Shout out to my man Josh Collins and your Collins Insurance Agency. Look, Erie Insurance, they insure everything in our studio and have for years. And anytime we've had an issue or a claim, they're quick to pay. They don't haggle with you. It's excellent. And Josh Collins, find out more about Erie and the things they can do for your dwelling. The Collins Insurance Agency, online at collinsinsuranceTN.com. Again, collinsinsuranceTN.com. We go back to our phones on a day where every road team in the league, John Adams, won. Every road team.
Except Missouri.
Except Missouri won. How crazy is that, John?
It's been a crazy season, and I think we have a hard time week to week figuring out who's the best team. We talked about Texas A&M.
Yep.
But I tell you what, you talk about a team, you're talking about teams that know how to win. Well, Vanderbilt has always been the program alongside Kentucky. It had no idea how to win. It's just the opposite now. It's really hard to wrap your head around that. But Vanderbilt figures out how to win and gets the job done. Right now, I mean, it's a better team than Tennessee. I really believe that. I don't know if it will be by the time he gets to the last game. I don't know what kind of shape Diego Pavia is in, but it looks like a better coach team. It looks more disciplined, and it's a more complete team. There's not a glaring weakness anywhere with Vanderbilt.
I'm with Matt. I sure hope the Vols can hold up their end of the bargain. Matt, can you imagine how lit Knoxville will be if both Vanderbilt and Tennessee can win out and get in that spot? You know how fun that week will be here?
Yeah, it would be. I know. That was what I was writing about for tomorrow morning.
I mean, how great is that?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for that. Am I the only one?
Yeah.
Or is the panel, is everybody in here rooting for that? I want us to win and them to win. Let's put all our chips on the table. Matt, will you join me in that?
I mean, I guess, yeah.
He's
I
not excited
think
about it.
they'll win in Austin next week. I think they're better than Texas, whether Arch is healthy or not. And then they host Auburn. Dale Pavia's beaten Auburn and Hugh Freeze like 4 years in a row somehow. So yeah, I think they'll probably will win out until the Tennessee game.
How fun is that going to be? Put all the chips in the middle of the table and let's play the game, Alex Myers. Can I get an amen from you?
Absolutely. That's it may. I mean, we talked about earlier in the show that Tennessee doesn't have a quality win. That may be the only way they get into the playoffs, because at 10-2 with no great win, but if they're both 2 losses or 1 loss, if that turns into a true play-in game, you know how the TV ratings and everything are. I mean, that may be the only way that Tennessee's guaranteed a playoff spot with 10 wins.
And they'll get the night game at that weekend as well. They'll get a nighttime slot for that thing. Hey, I'd love to see that interstate game matter. How many Vanderbilt games, Matt, in your lifetime have mattered? Really mattered? Like
for both teams.
For
like
both
none.
teams. I don't know that I've ever seen it.
I think they played for bowl eligibility before, once or twice.
Remember that Kyle Shermer game in Nashville?
Oh, God. Remember.
I mean, Kyle Shermer looked like a future NFL quarterback, like he played 10 years in the NFL. Yep. He made incredible NFL throws. They got receivers who were making every catch possible. I don't even remember what clown was coaching Tennessee at the time.
That was a Butchie Boy game, wasn't it, guys? Or was that the night
was that 2016?
That was the pissed away Sugar Bowl game to Derek Mason.
Bowl. Yep. Derek Mason over there in his bulletproof vest.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to
Kyle Shermer, man. I think he beat Tennessee twice, didn't he?
My gosh. Hello.
There was one game where Jeremy Pruitt called offensive and defensive plays.
Yes. And that was every bit the shit show that it sounded like.
That was a shrewd move.
Yes. As we get our next call in, it's Garza Law, 5th quarter fan reaction. Hello and welcome in. You are on our extravaganza. Hi. Welcome in. You're on the air. Let's try this again. Hello. Welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. This is Josh from Washington. How you doing?
Hey, Josh. Good to talk to you, man.
Hey, bottom line up front, always happy for a win.
Yep.
We'll take a win 12 out of 12 times in a season over a loss for sure. One thing I'll tell you, with the craziness of the coaching search this season, this off season, I am really glad we have a coach like Heupel.
Oh, you imagine that, man?
Couldn't be happier about that.
Well, like somebody said earlier,
I think our offense played really, really well today, but I mean, I can't be the only one noticing. Our backs can't seem to catch anything.
Isn't that weird, guys, that we can't come up with a back that can consistently catch a football at a Division I level? Is that a common thing? As you guys watch the game,
It's common here this year. I don't think I think the next pass any of them catches will be the first.
Who are you talking about? I didn't hear the.
Our
I'm having
backs.
trouble hearing the callers.
Yeah, our backs are having trouble catching the football. As he said, it would be nice to see them play cleanly and actually catch the ball out of the backfield.
That's always a plus.
I would say.
Yeah,
but
I just haven't seen it at all this year, and it seems like they're just dropping everything every time we try to go to them. It's really taken away a layer of our offense.
Yeah.
But one thing I was curious about with what you thought would probably be our toughest game going into the rest of the year.
Ooh, I love that.
Do you think it will be Okie, Florida, or Vandy?
Let's rank them. John, rank those games. Let's go around the room here.
Rank what games, Tony? I'm having trouble hearing.
The 3 toughest games at the end of the year. There are 3 remaining toughest games. Yep. Go
Vanderbilt.
Oklahoma.
Vanderbilt's number 1.
Okay.
Florida's number 2, and Oklahoma's number 3.
Yes,
Brian?
I agree with that verbatim.
Is that you, Matt? How do you rank them?
Yeah, that's probably how I'd rank them too. But really, if you could put them in any order and probably be able to justify it, and it'd be a sound argument. But I agree with John's 3. I think that's right.
I'll go Florida 1 because of history, and Josh Heupel's teams don't play well in spots like that. If I was picking where the loss is going to come from, it'd be the Florida game. So I'll put that number 1 till I see it. If that's a fair thing to say out loud. I cannot believe I'm saying this. I think that then I would put Vanderbilt, which I can't believe I'm saying that, but it is what it is. It's the truth. And then Oklahoma. But as Matt said, there's a razor-thin margin between all 3 of those teams. Alex, how would you rank them?
It's not a very intriguing answer, but I would go with the same route that John and the rest of the panel did. I just think Vandy's easily the best team that you're going to face, particularly in that moment. I think Pavia is a guy who would show up to play in that moment without fear.
Yeah.
I think Joey would too, but I think that would easily be the toughest. And then I agree that Oklahoma is the better team, but in that spot, until I see it, I mean, I think Tennessee's won down there like twice since I've been alive. So I think that's the toughest moment, and then Oklahoma 3rd.
Yeah, the Florida thing to me, and here's the thing Florida has, and tonight Cole Kulick was talking about this on the telecast. They do some things offensively that could really frustrate Tennessee, and they're good enough defensively to really frustrate Tennessee. And that could, with Florida's running game, could turn into a game where they play down the Vols. And not many teams in this league have been capable of doing that, possessing the ball for a long time and sort of playing keep away. And listen, I'm not here to be a doomsayer. I didn't think this team was making the playoff to begin the year, and I think the Florida game inevitably or eventually is going to get them. I hope I'm wrong. I really want to be wrong in that. Many years I've talked trash on Florida, and we've gone down there and have played poorly, and so we're going to try a different tact now and maybe fade me. To my caller, how would you rank them?
I would probably go with Florida being the toughest one. I'm going off history. That's why I'm going Florida probably be the toughest one, Vandy number 2, because of the same reason, only in reverse, and then Oklahoma. I'm hoping Heupel still has that chip whenever it comes to playing Oklahoma, like he did last year, and having them at home will definitely give us a bigger advantage than we did last year. And maybe also it would lead into another dream scenario with all the coaching changes going through this year. If Venables were to be let go at the end of the year, dream scenario would be able to get him in as DC to replace Banks, and he could maybe have a Chip Kelly kind of effect for Ryan Day last year, only for us on the defensive side of the ball.
You're one of several people who have articulated that. I just don't think our coach, unless he has a previous relationship with Brent Venables, is going to hire him. I just
didn't they coach together at Oklahoma?
Were they on the same staff? Were they? Somebody help me out. That would change my mind. Matt, do you remember that? Were Venables and Heupel there together? I know Venables was at Clemson. We'll have to look that up.
I thought they had crossed paths somewhere
they
in
were
their
there.
history. Maybe it wasn't Oklahoma.
They overlapped
I
at some point in like the late 2000s, early 2010s.
So they overlapped there? Okay, well then
I would think so.
Well then I would say it's in play. Next week after you beat him in Knoxville, you whisper in his ear, "Hey Brent, you're getting ready to get paid. Congratulations. We're all lottery winners. Hey, I would like to augment you in the off season after you get fired, and we'll bring you in." John, do you think this head coach would have the stomach to fire Tim Banks if it came to that? No, I don't either. Several callers have mentioned it tonight. And again, kind of like winning at Florida, that's something I would have to see to believe. Matt, do you think he would have the stomach to fire Tim Banks? To call him into his office and let him go?
No. And I mean, maybe if Banks had a job lined up that he could go to, maybe that would be a way you could do it. But no, I don't think they'd just outright fire him, no.
Maybe we can open Middle Tennessee State up again.
Venables was at Oklahoma from 99 to 2003, and he was there from 2004 to 2011 at a different position. So, yeah, I think there would have been overlap.
There you go.
Hey, MTSU might actually come open at
I know that
this year, in all seriousness.
Yeah, because that Mason guy has been, his name was evoked earlier. He has been dreadful there. But thanks for the call, man. Anything else for us? Great call.
No, appreciate it, Tony. I've been listening to you for a few years. It's the first time calling in.
Thank you. It's a real honor,
really
man.
Appreciate you taking the call.
Yeah, thank you. And as he jumps off, a line available if you want to get in with us at 865-200-5402. So if you've encountered busy signals, now's a good opportunity to get in. It's like 1:50 in the Eastern Time. And we continue to talk about it in a day where Alabama won a game they probably shouldn't have won. Texas won a game they probably shouldn't have won. Auburn won a game they probably shouldn't have won. LSU got run over. The bottom of the league just can't win. It would be great if the bottom of the league could be kind of a spoiler and make the thing more interesting. Imagine, John, how interesting that would have made the league today if those bottom feeders would have held on in those games. Imagine how interesting the league would be right now if those three teams would have won. And they all could have won.
Well, then you're talking about a 3-loss team getting in the playoffs.
That's right. Potentially.
And talking earlier and thinking about A&M.
Yep.
That is the most complete team. Now, they may end up losing to Texas in the last game.
Yes.
And we won't say that, but Missouri, it was a really tough loss for Missouri today at Vanderbilt, though, because it lost its quarterback, too. Looks like he's done for the year. I think they've said a dislocated ankle.
Oh.
And they brought the freshman in who I thought played really well. And then you had that Hail Mary at the end of the game.
Looked like it was.
Initially, I didn't think he caught it, but they said he caught it, and he was inches away from the goal line.
How does a ball that goes through somebody's hands and hit the ground, John, how do they call that a catch? After looking
I didn't
at
think
it on
it
replay,
was.
It wasn't a catch.
But they called it a catch, right?
Who was the replay official? Alama Matthews? What are we doing?
Well, the crazy part about it is they never overturn anything.
Right.
And they actually called it a drop on the field. They called it incomplete on the field, then came back and overturned it to a catch, but said he was short and there was no time left.
Well, then see, that's what I was half watching it, and then when that happened, I thought, I had no idea he'd caught the ball. And then they're saying he did, and it was like game over. That really makes you wonder about the officiating. And this replay stuff, good gosh. What if they would have What if he'd have been over the goal line? Would Missouri have, what was that? That was for a tie. They could have tied it, I guess. But Eli Drinkowitz would have gone nuts, wouldn't he?
For them to come up with that. And how about the play on the goal line, guys, where Bama's back is laying on the ground. And the guy strips the ball away from him, starts running the other way, and Eli's out there trying to talk the officials into it. And I'm going, buddy, you are a dime store Kirby Dumb. You're not Kirby Dumb. You're over there. You have a visor on. It is not a Georgia visor. You're not talking the officials into this call. And when they replay it, they're going to overturn it. And that's one time, to Alex's point, where they overturned it. And why did they overturn it, Alex? Because it wasn't even close. So unless it's a play that's not close, you're just going to have to suck it up buttercup when it comes to replay, and it's just going to waste 5 minutes of all our time. Meanwhile, in the Virginia Tech game last night in the ACC, there was a crucial play at the end of that game, and they actually showed the interaction between the guy in the booth and the guy on the field, and you got to hear them talk it out, and it's extremely interesting. John, I would have loved to have heard how they concluded that a ball that went through a guy's hands, he should have caught it, and it should have been a touchdown, John. That's what I thought in real time.
Yeah, I know. But they looked at it so long. There was another play today. These games all run together in my mind after I watched so much football.
Yeah.
But there was another play where they just stared at it and stared at it and stared at it. And it was obviously, the call was, I don't even, it wasn't a close call, I didn't think. I didn't have any doubt what it was.
Was it in our league?
Yeah, it was an SEC game. We're seeing this, and I mean, normally this is an annoyance. It's frustrating, and it's something to talk about. Officiating, everybody complains about the officiating, but in this era, in the way things are going, and with what just happened with the NBA, people start to think like that now. They start to think, how could he call that a catch?
I'm starting to think Chauncey Billups is over the SEC officials. After some of the stuff that's
Chauncey
going on.
Billups. Well, think about this. How did the guy, he made $100 million in the NBA.
Right.
And what in the world's going on with his head? And now he thinks it's a good idea to fix basketball games?
Fix poker games.
Poker. What I wonder, guys,
even better.
What I wonder is how many college basketball games are these kids playing around with that point spread at the end of games? And I'm not kidding when I say that. I don't think any of us want to know the answer to that. I'll just say that for the record. I don't think any of us want to know the answer to that.
Tony, would you want to bet on? Would you bet on an NBA game now?
That is sports entertainment in its purest form. It's like betting on professional wrestling. I'd rather bet on WrestleMania and the results at WrestleMania than bet on a damn NBA basketball game. But I will tell you this: Connexial, Knoxville's own transportation logistics tech company, they are a proud sponsor of the My 20 Drive of the Game right here on your Garza Law fifth quarter. And here we are. Connexial, right in downtown Knoxville, revolutionizing the trucking industry nationwide. Wichita, Ken, and the entire gang are out there winning every day, and so are you when you trust them with your fleet. And it doesn't matter whether you have a fleet of 4 or 400. It does not matter. The goal is to help your fleet be more efficient, make your drivers and our roads safer, take control of your fleet, improve your safety scores, make drivers happy, and get ready to win with Connexial. Connexial.com, and your Connexial drive of the game tonight, as selected by me. Kentucky's moderately alive in the game, at least they think they are. Tennessee comes out after stopping Kentucky in the third quarter, getting the ball with 11:05 to go in the quarter, and Tennessee goes 2 plays, 70 yards in 25 seconds. And wouldn't you know it, the ball game was over at that point, and that's your connexial drive of the game. And I love it when Tennessee does the quick score. And I think we all agree on here, we did not do the lay-down lineman one time. I will be curious to see when we play Oklahoma next week, Matt, when we score quickly, if we do it or not. I wonder what that.
I think they actually might have done it one of the early ones, but it wasn't a full-fledged 3-minute deal. Like, he got up pretty quickly. Like, he might have actually really tweaked something, because they didn't do the knee brace or anything. Mm-hmm. He jogged off, but they did go out there. The trainers did for about 20 or 30 seconds for one of them early in the game.
Guys, why wouldn't Greg Psyche call Josh Heupel and tell him to cut it out? I don't want to see that anymore.
I don't know. And Matt's had a theory, and maybe it's filtered to Josh Heupel that, hey, you're not going to get calls in this league as long as you do that sort of thing. I'll tell you this. Clark Lee got some calls in that game today. Now, Matt tells me that early in the game they were not getting calls, but when it counted down the stretch, he got a half whistle from those Zebras. And I think that's an interesting thing, that the head coach at Vanderbilt is getting a better whistle than the head coach at the University of Tennessee. Of course, tonight's game, Matt, I don't even worry about the officiating tonight, because tonight's game was so cockeyed the way both defenses were playing that penalties really didn't even matter tonight. In fact, neither team faced a third down till late in the second quarter. I mean, the game was just kind of a mockery.
Tennessee only faced 8 all game.
Total mockery.
Scored 56 points. I mean, Jesus.
Total mockery.
Kentucky went into this game averaging 22 points per game. And that's one of the most amazing things I've seen all SEC season. That Kentucky was able to pass for over 300 yards. I mean, that to me was the most surprising thing in the game. How could that? I know Tennessee's pass defense is bad, but good gosh, Kentucky.
Yes.
And they were stressing, at least this is what the commentators got from their prep work with the game and meeting with the coaches and players, how they stressed that Cutter Boley needs to get rid of the ball really quickly. If he doesn't, he's in trouble. I mean, that's if he's that impaired, it sounds like it's a major problem. I was hearing that at the first of the game, and I thought, my gosh, I mean, what kind of passing game do you have? He's just going to throw it as soon as he gets it in his hands?
And what's nutty is these guys almost beat, and it's insane, they had Texas on the ropes last weekend.
I know, but they did. But the offense did nothing. I mean,
and we
the offense, they
couldn't
score enough in that game.
And we hammered them tonight, which means we would beat if we put Texas on a neutral field right now, we beat the living hell out of them. Hello and welcome in. Well, I do kind of believe that, actually.
Yeah, Texas would score 30 plus.
We boat
40
race,
plus maybe.
We boat race them. Hello and welcome into our next.
And they have a much better defense than Kentucky.
They ain't scoring 30 points on anybody, Brian. Texas couldn't score 30 points against air. They blow. Let's get our next call. Mississippi State. Come on. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey,
it
Tony,
scored more than Tennessee did.
Hey, Tri-Town Trey, welcome in.
Hey, I was, about the 2-point conversion thing. I just wanted to chime in on that and a couple other things. I've been meaning to say this about the Georgia game, back to that, where, I'm kind of with Brian on the whole, you never want to be up. It feels bad to be up 6 points or to be up 2 points, because the 7, you lose by 1 or 3 versus 2. But I thought it was when we got conservative there against Georgia with 7 minutes left after the fumble, it's almost like when we got the touchdown, we were down 30-28, and you get the 6 points to go up 34-30. Now in football, 4 and 5, there's not much difference between 4 and 5, but there's more of a difference between 5 and 6, if that makes sense. So to being up 35-30 versus being up 36-30. So I was kind of shocked we didn't go for that. I always feel like you want to make it a 6-point game, though, in that scenario, because then when we did get conservative and Gilbert did hit that field goal, it's almost like we were up. Like he was playing as if we were up 6 right there and just get the field goal to make it 2 possessions and win. So I would have been okay with us being super conservative there after the fumble if that was the case. But that was just something that in the moment, and I put action on it after that, right after we went up 8, and it was and I bet on Georgia as I was in the stadium. I'm not proud of it, but I put $50 just because I knew, you just have these feelings, and I wish I'd lost that bet, but the $50, I think it won me like $450 or something. But anyway, it's just a feeling, and you knew when Georgia converts that 4th and 7, you knew they were getting that 2-point conversion, and it was easy. And then, like Alabama hadn't run one all season, so they got their whole playbook open.
Yes.
And that was easy.
Of course.
You just know, and watching that game, I only watched about really just the second half. And I agree with you there. I think it's the same reason Bill Belichick today, when you're a horrendous North Carolina
That's
team.
That's exactly right.
And
try to end the game.
You go for 2 there, even though they lost, because if you had told Bill Belichick at the beginning of the game, hey, if you're going to have a chance, if you can go 2 yards, you're going to beat a ranked team in Virginia.
Yep.
Or if you're Frank Beamer, because then you gotta. It's not like you're up 6 trying, like what Oregon needs to do on their first touchdown of the game where you're going up 8. It's like, no, you can still, Alabama can come down and score, and they're probably going to kick an extra point, and then you go to overtime. But I just knew they were losing right then once Alabama started going down the field, and I knew they were getting that 2-point conversion, and I thought that South Carolina would lose in overtime, but they choked before that.
Can you believe
but I just
that,
think it
Trey?
was a really thematic thing today.
Yeah. Yes.
Like all of you have touched on. I mean, losers lose. Arkansas should not have lost.
No.
And Auburn sucks, but they're at least a decent program. Texas should not have.
It was unreal.
Mississippi State should not have lost. Alabama should not have won. But you go for 2 there. I just think if you're a 3 and 4 South Carolina team, it doesn't matter. It's like if you're on the road, that sometimes plays into it. But if you could have told Beamer, hey, man, if you convert 2 yards here, the game's over.
You're going to defeat Alabama. No, you're going to defeat Alabama.
Like, we need to get Heupel to start doing that.
Well,
like just win the game.
I'm
like
gonna
it's
go
like
for
it's like when coaches don't try to get a first down at the end of the game.
I go for 2 when it's time to go for 2 at the end of games. I'm not a go for 2 guy like all the time. And in the Georgia game, that might have been a little early, what you're describing. But I get your point, which is, hey, we have a shot here, and let's go ahead and go for the kill, or make our lead a more commanding one. There is zero doubt in my mind that the right thing to do for South Carolina tonight is wholeheartedly to go for 2. And if we get in that spot with Oklahoma, for instance, next week, and you got a chance to go for 2 and knock them out, and or give the ball back to them with a chance to an extra point will tie the game, make it a 9-point game. Put the thing on
ice. And if you
ice.
think about it, Tony, you're really saying you're either betting on whether your offense can convert a 2-point conversion or whether your defense can stop one.
That's right.
Now, if I've got the choice to pick, I'd much rather be on the offense. If the game is on the line and, you either convert this 2-point conversion, you win or lose, I'd rather be on offense where I can control it. And that's basically what you're betting on, because if Alabama converts that, even then, it's you just knew Alabama was going to win. And you knew I didn't even know Texas had gone into overtime, and because I flipped away from it.
Yeah.
And I just saw that it wasn't overtime. I knew Texas was going to win. That's just how it goes. I knew Georgia was going to win. But, yeah, I just think – I don't know. And it goes back to this thing with, like the prevent defense that teams do when they're up, or like, I mean, I can't tell you, there's just so many times I just don't understand, like in football where, you've got the ball and the other team always somehow has 3 timeouts we never do at the end, but the other team does, and you just run it. It's like, why would you run the ball and just play? That's not even conservative. That's just like, I don't know what that is, because you're just saying we'd rather, or like, when you're backed up on the 1 yard line, let's run the ball. We don't want to risk an interception. Well, what if you fumble? I just don't understand that. And more times than not, teams that throw out of their own end zone seem to get out of it, like actually get more than 5 yards.
Yeah.
And then, but when you're this thing at the end of a game, like, just get a damn first down, like, because I mean, if I feel like it's always people look back and they're like, man, if we could just played our regular offense and got 10 yards, and then who cares how many 2-minute warnings or whatever? You just got to look at it as like, we have to go this X amount of yards to win this game. And again, I think with Beamer and them, they're down. You're still up 7, and it's like being up 8 is better than being up 7, but it doesn't
alter the game.
It's a whole different thing.
No.
I mean, one point just changes everything.
Oh, and I appreciate you, brother. It's a really interesting conversation, because around this room we all see it differently. Matt sees it my way. I would always try to end the game. C, by the way, is monitoring. Says, John, that this kid from Missouri pinned that ball on his legs, actually, and it never hit the ground. And looking back, I'm looking at it right now, and he was actually down at the 1 yard line, which is crazy.
Well, I couldn't.
You couldn't what? You're doing that. You're blinking now. John's in blink mode.
The
Alex Myers.
Oklahoma line is up to 4 now.
4? It opened at 4?
Yes. Yeah, it's up to 4. It went from 1 to 4.
Oh, 1 to 4. Okay.
Tennessee, the 4-point favorite.
It does not surprise me the way Oklahoma's. I know they're power rated right on top of each other, but the way Oklahoma's passing game looked today. But I will say, Matt said it earlier. Hey, Matt, the Mateer guy has a gear where he can click, and when he clicks, he can be very scary. That's a little scary, right?
He had that gear earlier in the season before the injury. I don't know if he's got it now. And he just can't. He can't throw the ball at all.
No, he can't throw.
Like I don't know why he's. I mean, I guess it's Venable's job's on the line, but like that guy can't throw. He doesn't see the field extremely well.
Nope.
And when there's guys open and you either don't see him or don't hit him. I mean, it's hard to do anything. And I think John mentioned it earlier. They have 0 running game besides him. I mean, he was their leading rusher in all their games early in the season, and they're trying to limit him a little bit now. But it's a real high variance game, because the guy tries to make plays, and sometimes he does, and sometimes he doesn't, and it can, Pavia is kind of that way too. Maybe a little less risky, but it's interesting. I think Tennessee's the better team when you're playing at home at night.
You got to win. So you should win. You got to win the game, yeah. It'd be very, very, very disappointing, and which is really a weird thing to say, but it'd be very disappointing to lose to Oklahoma. That's what Josh Heupel's done to this program. He's made the concept of losing to Oklahoma. It'll be a massive disappointment to lose that game next week. A massive disappointment, I think.
And in Tennessee, if Tennessee lost to Oklahoma, I think it could end up with 5 losses.
I agree with that, John. I think it would open the door for an unplugging of sorts, which you don't want to open that door in this day and age. You just don't. We see it all over the sport.
Tony, I'm going to unplug now. I got some more work to do.
Yeah, you're the man, John. That guy gets out. That guy's
just getting ready to talk LSU.
Not much to say about those guys.
What are we going to say about the LSU? What are we going to say about
Kelly's looking like a good hire.
Did a nice job there. John, is he gone tomorrow morning? Do they do it? Do they wait?
Well, you got to ask Todd Graves. He's Raising Cane's Fried Chicken. He could write a check in the morning.
You think he's Raising Cane behind the scenes?
If I'd invested as much money in the program as he has, I would be.
Interesting.
No, I don't think they'll make a change this year.
Really? Because there's too many jobs open?
Yeah, I just don't think they will. And I'm not saying they have, they'll be capricious about a $53 million buyout, but I mean, if you say you got rid of Brown, who would LSU go after, for example?
Yeah, I
Who
agree.
they ought to go after is Lane Kiffin.
Everybody's going to go after Lane Kiffin. That's right.
I know that, but I think that's a job he would take.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he'll take the Florida job. I think he would take the LSU job.
I would stay away from the Florida job if I were Lane Kiffin. Just
yeah,
caution.
When you look at the history of that program, you had two great coaches there.
Yep.
Steve Spurrier dominated the SEC, won a national title. Urban Meyer won 2 national titles. Those are two of the best to ever coach the college game. But look at the rest of them.
You get very little argument from me. But you're the man, John. Thank you, brother. Shout out Jen Morris, the great Jennifer
guys.
Morris. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. My friends at Alumni Hall, then we go back to our phones. You coming into town for the game tomorrow? Tennessee and Duke. Matt, will you tune it in tomorrow night? 7 o'clock start?
Yeah, I think we're planning on being there.
Oh, let's go! Let's damn go, man. Now, how serious are we about this Duke game?
It's a more serious game than the one at Kroger Field tonight.
That's exactly what a buddy of mine told me. Because I said to him, he said, are you going to be on the post game? I said, no. He said, you doing the post game tonight? I said, yes. He said, well, the post game tomorrow is much more serious than the post game tonight. And I said, you got to be damn kidding me, right? He said, no, I'm not kidding you. He said, they're playing Duke in Knoxville. I said, that's not a real game, though. It's kind of a pretend game. But you know what, Matt? Just like they said, just like that video on YouTube, it's real to me, damn it. Right? It's real
Correct.
to me, damn it.
Correct.
And that, if you're coming in tomorrow, my friends at Alumni Hall have all kinds of great hoop stuff. They've got all kinds of incredible Tennessee gear. Only one place, and that's the best place to shop for Tennessee gear. It's Alumni Hall. The best and largest selection of Tennessee apparel for the whole family. All the great brand names like Nike and Champion and Columbia and Peter Millar and soon Adidas, and plus load up on hats and accessories, and they've got tons of Yeti stuff there as well. Tremendous tailgating necessities that every great tailgater would need. Download the Alumni Hall app. Click on your account. It's going to tell you how much Hall cash you've earned. You get $10 in rewards for every $150 you spend. And remember, Alumni Hall has locations in Murfreesboro, Bristol, 3 locations in Knoxville, now open in Johnson City. Pop into Alumni Hall and get game ready and tell them that we sent you. Say, hey, Tony B sent me. As we go back to our phones, burning the midnight oil, as it were. Hello and welcome in. You're on Garza Law 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. Hi.
What's going on, Tony B? It's Rod in Clarksville.
Hey, Clarksville. What are you doing up at this late hour, you knucklehead?
You know how it is, Tony B.
You keeping it real.
I wanted to run by some of our fans, you know, how,
Yep.
it seems like they seem to forget that Kentucky, when they play us, just like they're playing the Super Bowl.
It's a great point.
And, of course, out of all the games, their little freshman quarterback is going to throw 300 yards against us. It's just the way it is. They threw out everything in the kitchen table against this team. They cannot stand us. So, of course, they're going to play their best game.
Matt, how about that? The Boley guy, the way he performed, he's an in-state kid. You could tell it meant a lot to him.
Yeah, and he can move around, make some plays with his legs, extend plays, and still, hit guys downfield. We don't make it hard on him at all. We make it pretty easy when we kind of leave guys open and aren't in good coverage. But yeah, he was really good. I think he threw more touchdown passes tonight than he has all season.
I like the one pass play, Matt, where he flips the ball out to Law, and he just runs 71 yards with the ball untouched. He just flips it out there in the right flat.
Yeah, they had a numbers advantage, and their guy just outraced our poor angle and kind of slowed DB to the corner, and he was gone. That was really, that's just
bad.
Really poor job.
They had a 13-game streak against Power 4 teams where they didn't score more than 2 touchdowns, and they easily got over that.
Say, Rod, they were fired up for us, Rod. You're right, man. They were ready to play us.
It's the truth, Tony.
No.
It's the truth.
It's our Super Bowl.
Their defense wasn't ready to play.
They always play us like they're playing their Super Bowl.
Yep.
And what's funny is, all night long, I've been hearing about everybody complaining about, our defensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not mistaken, after Law ran that 79 yards down that field, we never seen him catch another ball.
And you got to ask yourself, is that on them or is that on us? Because
that's on our defensive coordinator making sure we had somebody on Law the rest of the night.
How about that? We got somebody standing up for Tim Banks over here.
I'm just saying the truth, Tony. I understand he's not what everyone wants, but at least after he's seen Law, who had track speed, run down that freaking sideline in front of the whole team for 79 yards, he made sure that son never caught the ball again. How about that?
Hey, Matt, can you imagine, Matt, that kid only had 2 targets on the night, and I think they only threw one more ball to him after that?
That's what I'm saying, bro. It's crazy.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real, Tony. While everybody's talking about how bad he is.
Yep.
He stopped their number 1 player the rest of the night.
You're the man, buddy. Are you excited for the Duke game tomorrow?
Is it on TV, Tony?
Yes, it is. It's televised.
Okay.
The great Jimmy Dykes will be in the house.
2 more quick things, Tony. Quick things.
Coach Dykes.
The Tony B situation. I love this about Tony B. I believe behind closed doors, like you said, that you're going to probably talking about it this week. But I think Tony B made sure that our AD knew before he left, if you want to fill this stadium up, you better make sure you've hired Josh Englander. Go Vols.
Thank you, my man. I that would be the case if they were, well, never mind. I'm not going to get into all that. See, Matt, people are trying to pull me into this stuff, and I cannot be. Is that C? C, is that you I just heard? A C sighting?
I'm in here, yeah. I joined a couple minutes ago.
Are you fired up right now? For some
Garza
I got a little
Law? I took a little bit of a nap here.
Garza Law,
so I'm ready.
This show will do it to you. Some Garza Law extra hours. Some extra time to the extra time. Shout out to Alan and my friends at WeShipFloors.com. Let me say this. When you deal with them, you're dealing with the manufacturer. I want to encourage you. We've linked a couple videos up over at tclub.team. There's one of Alan up on YouTube where their floor that he's developed called a Supercore floor, he takes some lead, a piece of lead, and takes the highest of high-end floors and hits it. And you should see what it does to it. And then he walks right over to his floor and just goes boom, 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 and nothing. And I thought, well, that's fun. And then Alan called me, another Alan, in Jonesboro, and said, man, I'm so glad you have this guy. You were talking about them on your show. That fires me up because I bought that floor from them 3 years ago, and we're going to go get another one because it's held up so well. He said, we really don't need another floor, but the missus wants one. He goes, I'm not doing anything else in my house but putting in get this now, Super Core Floor from my friends at WeShipFloors.com. They have a room visualizer. They have 120 Super Core floors that you can virtually drop into your room. Order yourself a free sample today. Do it. They will send you samples out. You can see it, feel it, taste it, touch it, say it, know it, and write it down. Alan was at the game tonight, Matt. He's fired up, focused, and prepared like you are for beating Kentucky. Matt, how many Tennessee fans in the building this evening in the Commonwealth? WeShipFloors.com.
Probably 15,000, maybe. I think it seats like 61. There's probably 15 Tennessee in there, maybe a little bit more. I'm not sure. There's definitely more orange in there from early in the third quarter on.
That was That was an incredible visual to look up there and see all those Kentucky people that had left. Our first caller of the night, Matt, you may have been making your way to the car at that time, called from up there and said that he has to hand it to Kentucky fans to turn out the numbers they do for football. He said because it's truly a dreadful product. Like it's almost like not even worth burning the gas in your tank to get over there to see that.
Oh, well, against Tennessee, it's not because, at Stoops and Brad White defense, I mean, Heupel just torches that thing, and then obviously the personal connection to the Stoops family. Heupel, leaves the starters in, but that's just a schematic mismatch every year. Kentucky has zero chance to beat Tennessee as long as Stoops is going up against Heupel. They have zero chance.
And Heupel is a type of coach with his approach that's always going to own a team like this.
They've had zero chance when it's a Tennessee team that's actually good, because they've never beaten a Tennessee team I've seen that's actually good, one that wasn't about to fire a coach.
Stoops looked like he way more reserved. Like he didn't even look like he was really getting mad. Like he just looked checked out, I guess is how I would say that.
I think
compared to games I've seen in the past.
I think these guys know when the Turk is coming. It's not, how in the world are they going to keep him there next year? Can't keep a guy.
It's a huge buyout, and I think most of it has to be paid in like 30 days. It's crazy.
Jimmy,
maybe the bigger question is
Jimmy Sexton.
Maybe the bigger question is, do they care enough about football?
That's the key. Yeah.
Do they care enough to bother with it, or do they just let them trot back out there?
That's a good point, Al. It's kind of like us in our basketball program in the 90s. At some point, you got to look up and see what your administration's doing or not doing and say, hey, you know what? I kind of don't think we care about it here. It's like...
It's
a good point.
It's like Dave Serrano. They let him stay over there for 6 years when you knew they were never going to be anything better than about 500.
Hey, C, what do you think of Bry in the middle of that, just coming off the top rope on Serrano? Thoughts on that at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Well, it's it's not like Serrano's been on the show or has a relationship with anybody here, so I think it's fair game.
Back to the phones we go at 2:26 a.m. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air. It's Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Welcome to the program. Hi.
Hey, Tony. How you doing?
I've been better. Thank you. Doing great.
Listen, man, I got a couple points I'd like to make and then a couple questions.
Sure.
The first point is I think there's a chance that we can hold Florida under 30 for our first under 30 SEC defense of the season. What do you think?
Hey, man, I like the way that sounds. Hold them under 30. The problem with Florida is, though, they have the ability to kind of handle, control the ball and play a little keep away on us.
No, I understand that. I just think we can maybe possibly hold one SEC team under 30. That's Florida. Okay.
Can you imagine that Kentucky team with that Boley kid at quarterback? him going out and going 26 of 35 for 330 yards and 5 touchdowns. And thank
Tony,
God,
you know what the problem is? We
Yeah.
think about it wrong. We need to think about it like basketball. You got to put the ball in the hoop to win a game.
That's right.
Do you not agree with that?
Yeah, but they put the ball in the hoop enough to score 34 points tonight.
Well, I understand that, but we could have scored 70 had he not pulled a foot off the pedal.
Well, we could have scored 70 if our defense would have gotten off the field a few times. No question.
Now, here's my score prediction. 48-38, Okie. 41-40, Florida. 51-50, Vandy.
You think we're losing all those games?
No, that's the winning score.
Huh?
We're going to win 48-38, Oklahoma. 41-40, Florida. But I'm hoping to keep that one under 30. And 51-50, Vandy. Because we're never losing to Vandy to go to the playoffs in Knoxville.
You know, Matt, that brings up a really good point. If that is a real game of consequence and Heupel loses that game to miss a playoff spot, I don't know that you come back from that, Matt, with your fan base.
I think it'd be a really disappointing way to go out. But I think most of your friends would understand that it's actually a pretty decent team in Vanderbilt, but it would be a very bad look. Yeah.
Hey, they demand to make staff changes probably.
What do you think Heupel fixes first? His defense or his waistline?
Thank you. That's why I like the middle of the night. See, do you like the middle of the night? Because now Heupel's catching strays along with Dave Serrano. See?
Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
middle of the night.
I think that. I mean, that's why I hopped on at like 2:15 a.m.
Matt, are you for or against the middle of the night portion of the program? Are you for it or against it?
I'm always for it. Always for it.
It's totally idiotic.
I'm just glad Brian hadn't fallen asleep on us yet.
Yeah, I was shocked that Brian was still on here. I saw his name, but I was shocked to hear his voice.
Brian took an absolute shot at Serrano just out of nowhere. I mean, like, what are we doing?
I don't hate the guy. I mean, I just making a point.
You don't hate the guy, but what, Brian?
Tell you're fond of him. I tell you're very fond of him, Brian. We left him over there, and Brian's like, well, we left him over there, and he was terrible for like 7 years. I mean, what the hell? Very, very fun. Very fun. Let's go back to our phones. And by the way, if you want to get in, 865-200-5402 on a day where Josh Elander, well, I guess a day later, but Josh Elander is doing his thing, and he's the new coach. Matt, what'd you think of him? He got a shave and a haircut, 2 bits. I didn't recognize him, Matt. Did you?
Yeah, no, he looks very different, very weird. I guess I don't know. That's a funny thing because Vitello was like clean shaven, really looked like he was about 25 when he got the job. So he looked totally different after a year or two as well. So hey, good for Elander. We talked about it earlier, but it was the only hire you really could make. If there's no other real option, I thought.
Hey, see, you missed the early portion of the show, and probably 2 or 3 callers in, Dave called in, and essentially a couple minutes into the call, we had gone from bashing 10 banks to hopefully Brent Venables gets fired so that they'll hire Josh Heupel from us. My question to you is, what's the over-under line on hours or days until Josh Elander starts taking shots from Dave? I'll hang up and listen. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you, Al.
Josh Vollander, right, Tony?
No question. Josh Vollander.
Yeah, he'll be... What's that tournament they play down in Texas?
Yeah, the Shriners Classic.
And the Texas Ranger Stadium.
He'll be all over
Negative
his
will
ass.
be on some platform. I don't know if you guys are having the extra innings for that, but I would assume Dave will be on a platform of some kind, saying that the Elander experience has run its course by then.
He's so great. He was so like acerbic and angry tonight. This guy's never gonna work. He goes. He kind of twisted. He sort of twisted it on me tonight because I thought he was going to say, "Boy, I really hope, after Oklahoma flames out, we beat Oklahoma next week." That's what he said. See, because others were saying, "Let's go get Brent Venables to be our DC." Dave said, "Yeah. Actually, what I want is for Oklahoma to hire our coach, our football coach." And I'm like, he goes, "Because he's never going to win. He's never going to win. Just admit it.
Well,
he's never going to win at all. He's a pretender. He's not serious. He's never going to win at all."
Well, I'm sure he's gonna call in tomorrow night because I saw Tennessee starting Bishop Boswell, who he was warning us was going to be the starting two guard. Tennessee's starting him tomorrow because Barnes is upset because they gave up 18 threes against Ohio State, so they're doing a little bit tomorrow night.
Brian, your guy's starting tomorrow night, starting point guard against Duke.
Yes.
Dave will be on line one, I bet, by the under 16 tomorrow night.
He might be on hold before we're done tonight for tomorrow.
He's such an absolute punk and a clown. As they say in the tray, he's a punk and a clown. My friends at Performance Medicine, I'm performing my best at Performance Medicine. Listen, it's 2:35 in the Eastern Time, and I don't sound like it's a minute over 3 a.m., so there. And my friends at Performance Medicine have me feeling great. Let's go. Performance Medicine serving East Tennessee for nearly 2 decades. Powerful medical expertise tailored to your individual needs. And here's the deal. They have an outside-the-box approach to medicine, and they want to take great care of you. And the bottom line is they'll find personalized health solutions that fit your life to keep you feeling better. Because, look, if you're feeling drained or out of energy, struggling with your weight goals, dreaming of radiant skin, hoping for a family, any of that stuff, they could show you the way at Performance Medicine online, performancemedicine.net, and check out their YouTube channel. Let's go back to our phones and get our next call in, as Kentucky is an absolutely wretched football program. And Matt Jones, I guess he doesn't have to worry about football now because Tennessee essentially ended their season tonight in humiliating fashion. They can get on to clubbing baby seals in their non-league schedule.
When did their season begin?
Well, I remember Matt Jones last year. He did that speech, and he said, well, when you do the math and you say
9-3, you could get in.
9-3. The way I look at it, when we play Tennessee, it's going to be, and you just take that one and you put it in the win column. Hey, listen, Matt. As long as Josh Heupel, you ain't putting jack shit in the win column as long as he's here, okay, big boy? Because Gitmo ain't walking it back through that door. If you smell what I'm cooking at like 3 o'clock in the morning. All right, let's get our next call in. Hello and welcome. You're on the air. It's Garza Law.
Tony Basilia, how you doing, friend?
Hey, how you doing? Doing great. How you doing?
Do you think that this week will be a waiting game on Mateer to come into Neyland and break our hearts again? I was 13 years old when Baker Mayfield did it to us. This one feels a little bit more personal, waiting on them guys to come back, don't it?
Well, the stakes are so much higher, man. Back then it was a non-league game, It was kind of quaint and fun. We were just getting our program back. We were under the leadership and guidance of the great Butch Jones, who was numbering our football teams at the time. We had an excellent young football team that we didn't know was that ready to win.
Be kind.
And if the coach would have gotten out of the way, the Vols would have won that night. But Baker Magic is a real thing, and he's taken that act to Tampa and has developed into a great quarterback. So, guy's a winner, man. Baker Magic is a winner, and he pulled the game out of his rectum that night. We were up 17 in that game, and some say it's the loudest crowd they've ever heard in Neyland Stadium.
Yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was the first time I cried after a loss. It was the worst. But it was whenever you find out that you're a true fan and you take that with you forever.
Yes, sir.
But I'll never. I've hated the damn Sooners for the last 10 years because what was it, double overtime loss?
Yep.
In 2015.
Yep.
I have pulled against those guys week in and week out.
Is that right?
You know, I mean.
So you carried that with you.
That stung.
That's cool. I like that. I didn't mean to talk over you, but I like that it burned in you as a kid, and you just like can't let it go. I like that because look, we're going to see them quite a bit now. It doesn't have the same. Matt, how were we talking about it a couple hours ago? When they first showed up on our schedule, they were so exotic. They were like Oklahoma. And now they're just a league team that's playing all these league games. But they're still Oklahoma. There's still a lot of weight with that name.
It's still Heupel's alma mater. So there's a lot of stake in it. It's still a really, really big game to our head coach.
It's personal to him. I bet you they have some of their best stuff offensively of the year this week for the Sooners.
Well, it didn't end sunshines and roses with Heupel leaving Oklahoma. Am I right about that? I mean, it was a fairly quick ending there.
Oh no, it was brutal. We have a guy named Barry Trammell that jumps on with us, and Barry unpacked it for us. Barry's been in that market for like 45 to 50 years, and is just a really cool older guy. But he remains a great columnist throughout that state. And Barry said that when Josh Heupel got let go by the Sooners, it literally broke his heart. And it took forever for him to speak to Bob Stoops. I think that just happened like in the last year, right, Matt? That they finally have spoken? And the ice is sort of melted.
It really wasn't even a conversation. I think Heupel just kind of said, "Congrats, coach." It was some kind of Hall of Fame deal that Stoops got elected into, and I think it had to do with they were kind of forcing Stoops to make some staff changes, and instead of firing his brother, who was the defensive coordinator, which was the weak link on the team, they got rid of Heupel.
Yeah, and from Heupel's perspective, and look at what they did. They elevated Lincoln Riley, who went on and had a ready-made program and made a few playoffs before he went out to USC and made a total jackass of himself, which is the coach he really is, not the guy that was at Oklahoma. The real Lincoln Riley's the guy at USC out there because he can't do it on his own. He had to take the momentum that somebody started for him. No offense to Lincoln Riley. But, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of bad blood in that deal.
Do we have a realistic chance of slowing down their passing offense on Saturday night? Because I'm trying to enjoy this win on Kentucky.
Their
you
passing
got to beat
offense.
Kentucky's ass, but I mean,
they're dreadful.
You got to wait all week for those guys to storm in and throw the ball.
No,
all over the
hell no. They're dreadful. If they throw the ball all over our defense, then we have huge issues. Matt, what is the top number they should throw for in that game? The tippy top number.
I mean, anything more than maybe 250 would be pushing it.
What do you think?
I mean, Mateer's looked really bad these
Awful.
last two games. Really bad.
Mateer was so bad in the fourth quarter in winning time today. First of all, he made so many bad decisions. And secondly, he can't throw the ball at all now. Not at all. Now, I will tell you this. The guy's very good with his feet. He's very capable. We're capable of taking some bad angles. Matt, he is capable of ripping off some big runs against us next week. There's no question that's true.
Yeah. He's
our linebackers.
He's mobile. Now, I don't know if he's as mobile as he was earlier in the year, and they're kind of protecting him. But no, he'll scramble a lot. So we need to make sure we wrap up and don't lose contain, which is something that our defense seems to love doing.
Oh, God. Hey, see, what's the top number we should give up to him?
I mean, I know he's I know he's got the thumb thing, but he's been very, very, very up and down. Like, if you look at last year, his stats at Washington State, he had a game one week against Texas Tech where he had 115 yards, and then I think he had like 375 yards the next week. Like, he can go way up and down, kind of a rhythm guy. I don't know. Obviously, I didn't think today it was affecting him nearly as much as the Texas game a couple weeks ago. But obviously, he's not fully himself. But I mean, with Tennessee's secondary, I would think he'll probably go 250 to 300. He had 230 today against Ole Miss. I think he'll probably be pushing 300 against Tennessee.
300? That guy?
I mean, yeah. I mean, Tennessee's secondary anybody can throw for 300 against Tennessee's secondary.
Ole Miss's defense, guys.
They'll be passing 60 or 70% of the time because they can't
run at all. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. How about
I think I'd set the over under like 280 probably for him.
How about the Oklahoma Sooners, to my caller? Two years in a row not having a decent running back. Really strange. That is odd to me. That's running back university there.
Their program hasn't really been elevated since Venables has taken over. They've kind of stayed at the almost Jimbo Fisher vibe, where they're above 500 records.
It's a great point. It's a good analogy. It's a good comparison. Jimbo Fisher at A&M and this guy. I agree with that. Well, you're the man, brother. I need you to keep your head up this week, and I need you to think good thoughts now, okay?
Well, I'm hoping we get the revenge for 10 years ago, and I'm just not wanting to sit all week, hoping this guy don't come in dark mode. I'm hoping the kneeling effect really affects this guy, between the hedges, because it's an elimination game.
Yep.
We're playing an elimination game.
Yep. You're the man, brother. Thank you. That's the first of 3 elimination games for Tennessee. I couldn't agree with that more. In fact, Matt, these games, they go up in the whatever the term I'm looking for here. These are going to get ratcheted up as we go. This is the first. We're going to stair-step this thing. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It really is.
Yeah. You're going to 3 really competitive games. The lines are going to be, very, very short on all 3 of them, and you got to win all 3 to get in. And I'm not sure this team's shown enough, especially defensively, that they can do that, but they at least have the opportunity in front of them.
Dark mode. Next week.
You know what really stinks?
Yeah.
Is that after this Oklahoma game on Saturday, after this game, you have 21 full days before you play a real game again. I mean, that's pretty bad. I know the way the schedule's set up. You have 21 days of real time before a real game.
You won't be all beat up heading into it, though.
I know. I'm just saying
that could be advantageous.
It's brutal as a fan, though.
Yeah, I see that.
Is it good, Matt, or bad for us to get that far out of practice or far out of whack?
I think it throws off our rhythm a little bit.
Yeah,
honestly,
I agree with that.
Offensively, maybe you can figure out something on defense to be just like baseline good enough to be a playoff contender, because right now you're not. But I think it throws off our offense a lot because we're a rhythm offense. We just rarely have the ball enough to get in rhythm, because when we're doing it well, we're scoring quickly, but the other team can bleed the clock by staying on the field. So it's a weird dynamic with hype. Like, it's a rhythm offense, but we never have the ball enough to get in rhythm.
Guys, any final thoughts here on the way out? because I'm Betty Bye is calling Tony B. And see, you're a clown. Coming in here and trying to make me laugh and giggle and stir us up.
I was not the one who went after a certain small ball coach.
One thing about this baseball coach, Matt, he ain't playing small ball, is he?
No, not at all.
Was that really?
We're going to continue to mash home runs.
Hey, Matt, was that really Josh Elander today at the press conference, or they hire a guy to play him? And when I get him on next week, can I ask him that?
Yeah, ask him if he had some inside joke with like Vitello or somebody why he shaved the beard.
Yeah, I mean, what are we doing here? It's like an imposter.
Yeah, that guy could have been anybody.
Could have been anybody. All right, boys, I'm yawning.
All right, guys.
Bri,
Club Clay forever.
Bri, who do the Jags have?
They can't lose. They don't play. Open date.
A Fight Clubber. If you're out there, any of your boys are out there, I want to personally apologize to you. You came on last year, and I suspended you after you ripped Big Nick and Nico. You called Big Nick a fraud and ripped him. I mean, you really went after him, and I overreacted to you attacking the coach, the father of our starting quarterback. And in hindsight, you were correct. So.
Hey, see, are there any links between Tim Banks and Chauncey Billups that we can throw out there?
That's a question for Nashville Lee.
Okay. I'm just wondering if there's some connection somebody can make.
Hey, Matt, Lee's done a deep dive on that, and Bino yesterday was reading me during one of our breaks the mafia nicknames of the guys involved in it, and Bino got so jazzed up by it.
Oh, I bet.
He was
There's
so
a guy on
up.
there in the indictment that has like an open like public Twitter account where he's like where he sells his NBA picks.
Oh, I love those people.
So his picks were good though, right?
Oh
Obviously.
Yeah. He was he knew who was playing, who wasn't. I can't remember what his name was. Let me see if I can find it on the way out here. It shouldn't take me.
Because somebody asked me earlier, would you bet on NBA basketball games? And let me help you out. The answer is negatory. No. That league is such a joke.
I don't think I've ever bet on an NBA game.
Brian, it's especially that regular season, such a joke. Such
Here we
a
go.
joke.
Marv Fairley, a.k.a. Vizino Locks. United States of America versus Vizino Locks.
Well, I mean, who's going to argue with the Zeno Locks?
I mean, maybe Clone could start doing a Vizino with his juke.
Shout out to Marcos Garza.
You think Fight Club's on one of the lines, Tone?
No, it's time to go. Marcos Garza.
See you guys.
Love you, Bri. Marcos Garza, the Garza Law Firm. Thank you. Online at garzalaw.com. Available 24/7. garzalaw.com. Shout out to our friends at VIP Play, full slate throughout your Sunday. I'll be on the Philadelphia Union over the Chicago Fire. I'll have a same-game parlay. See, should I publish that, my same-game parlay? Where are you on
what?
Huh? The Union play tonight. Should I put it out there, my same game?
Maybe. I would do a parlay of maybe the Union and the Flyers.
Shout out to my friends at T3 Vodka.
Maybe, is there any arena league? I mean, spring league that you could get a future in that?
Score a T3 Vodka, a T3 TD every single time. Waterside Contracting. When you're ready for your dreams to come true, Michael Scott. Waterside Contracting LLC.com. Walker's Painting. Walk, don't run. Run, don't walk. Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Easy for me to say. Check out the ad at tclub.team. Calhoun's. Ladies and gentlemen, they are the taste of Tennessee, and we'll be there all day on Friday. And Fan Run Radio is going to have the big box giveaway. Hey, the big box giveaway. Shout out to my friends at TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com. They presented our TLD Logistics phone lines this evening, and we're proud to do so. Driver training class is now forming. tldlogistics.com. Connexial, Knoxville's own transportation logistics tech company. Connexial.com/Tony. Check out the link over at our blog over at tclub.team. The great Josh Collins and your Erie Insurance. Thank you, Josh Collins and the Collins Insurance Agency. You're a gentleman, not a scholar. And you're a scholar, not a gentleman. But I love you. You're both. Actually, you're a gentleman and a scholar. What am I saying? It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. Alumni Hall, ladies and gentlemen, they are the place for all your Tennessee gear. Online at alumnihall.com. Special shout out to WeShipFloors.com. Alan, he loves it. They're in Johnson City. They've got millions and millions and millions of square feet in stock. And I'm talking millions of square feet. Anything else that you gentlemen would care to add? Shout out Performance Medicine and Dos Equis as we went for Dose tonight several times. And that is one thing I don't have in common with Shane Beamer, going for Dose.
Yeah, I did have one other question for. When does the Philadelphia Wings season start, Tony?
It's in November. They're right around the corner.
Matt, are you familiar with the Philadelphia Wings? As Tony shared that with you?
I don't know what sport that is.
Tony sent me some links to their games before. They're on ESPN Plus. It's the Philadelphia Indoor Lacrosse Team.
It's a National Lacrosse League, you clown.
I'll check out their Reddit page. I think Tony's probably a moderator on there.
You guys
did you see Stoops' comments when they asked him about the 2-point conversion tonight?
No. What did he say?
He said, it's what the chart said. He goes, I didn't really agree with it. I thought it was stupid, but it's what the chart said, so we went for it.
I mean, you can find the chart out there. Have you guys, if you Google
it was a hilarious response. It was a guy that is totally just packed it in and is just going through the motions. But he
said he didn't agree with it?
Yeah, he said, I hated it personally. I thought it was stupid. But that's what the chart said, so we went for it.
The chart basically says if you're down by 14 or more in the fourth quarter, you go for 2 every time.
Yes.
So
they were certainly down by 14 or more.
Yeah, because that was to cut it to 22, I guess, when they scored.
Yeah.
I think it literally says, if you Google it, the chart that they use, a lot of these coaches, it says 14 plus, go. That's literally a box on there. So I guess he just was following the chart, like Butch Jones.
Yep. It was just a hilarious clip. If you see it online,
it's a very standard thing in football. Isn't that what Butch Jones said about the chart?
Yeah. Yeah, right with this damn sleep study.
Dupes, man. Yeah, there's no way they can keep him.
How are they not going to keep him? He's got a $55 million buyout, and they have to have the money.
They've still got intriguing. They play at Auburn, then they host Florida,
and Ole Miss. They're not Ole Miss.
At Vandy and at Louisville to close.
Vandy, that's right.
Oh, and I think Tennessee Tech's undefeated in FCS. They're
Tennessee
8-0.
Yeah, they haven't lost in 18 weeks or some crazy thing. Tennessee Tech.
Have you asked Watson about that, Tony?
No, I need to this week because they're next level.
Yeah, they I guess he's about a decade out from doing that, right?
Yeah, but they're killing. They're killing.
Does he still lives there? Is that right?
He lives there. He's super proud of him. Yes.
Yeah, he'd probably. That is interesting. I wish the Vols played somebody like that this year instead of that. They'd probably be better. I'm sure they're better than New Mexico State.
Hey, Matt, who's that coach at Tech? Do we know?
Well, they had that Trey Lamb guy who's done a nice job.
It's a first year guy, I think.
Bobby Wilder's their coach.
I think he used to be an FBS coach somewhere. Maybe
Bobby Wilder used to be at Old Dominion.
That's right.
That's exactly right. He came from North Alabama.
He spent last year at let's see. This is his second year at Tech.
Okay.
I'm trying to see I don't know where he came directly from because he finished up at Old Dominion in 2019.
He's a veteran coach.
Yeah, that's interesting. I could see they'll probably give Kentucky a game, I would think.
Yeah, if Kentucky's just going through the motions, they could get beat because they can't.
If Calzada played, they'd beat them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, Kentucky, we wish you nothing but the worst. And we hope Tennessee Tech rolls you like a joint cigarette. And gentlemen, it was fun. Thank you very little. Both of you were a lot of fun. It's Midnight Madness once again next week. We're in the Midnight Madness pattern of the season. Tennessee and Oklahoma. It is a dark mode game, ladies and germs. I don't know if have they announced that anywhere, Matt? Because it is a dark mode game.
Yeah, they announced that before the season started, actually, which is why I always assumed it was a night game.
So we're in the dark mode. Oklahoma, here we go. Be there, my good friends. Be there. And I hope we got you home. Those of you that are listening to us and driving back from the Commonwealth, that was the goal here. The goal was to get you home. And I hope we did that with a 4-hour extravaganza here. We love you. We appreciate you. A lot of fun. I want to thank the great TGMD, and also I want to thank C. And they will be with us throughout the week on our show and over on the bloggy. And later tonight, Alex and Brian will have you on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, or either one of you degenerates going to jump in there on that, on the post-game show.
Maybe. I'm not sure if I'll be able to or not.
Right now, I'm going to say no.
Exactly.
I'm doubtful. I'm doubtful. We'll see.
You showed your orange.
Love you guys. Thanks. Peace.
See you guys.
But you're just getting started because it's time for the best post-game fan show in college football. It's time for the Garza Law Firm 5th Quarter Fan Reaction. The place where the Big Orange universe from all around the world gathers to talk about today's game. Unfiltered, uncensored,